Welcome to the club.
My club are mental, aren't they?
21 is coming. You're chatting gas.
Embarrassing.
Off, ref!
Most toxic fan base in the world are Arsenal.
Liverpool, the worst champions ever.
Welcome back. It's a massive game, isn't it? Man City versus Arsenal in the FA Cup. For many people, it's a precursor to what could go on in the Premier League for the remainder of the season.
And I agree. And I agree with that.
I think both managers have respected both the FA Cup and what I've just said by naming very, very strong starting 11s.
I think there's there is a weird mentality that exists in football fans today where they go, we want to win this, therefore we're going to not try and win this. If you're an Arsenal fan at the top of the league, the best thing you can do for your title chances is batter Man City today. That's the best thing you can do. Nothing to do with the FA Cup. For your Premier League aspirations, the best thing you can do today is batter Man City. If you're Man City and you're trying to catch Arsenal, the best thing you can do to catch Arsenal in the Premier League is batter them in the FA Cup.
Well, we saw it between us two in the lead up to the Champions League final. We had you in the FA Cup semi-final. We had you in the Premier League. The Premier League was a dead rubber because we'd already essentially won the league. And I think Guardiola rotated so many players in those games, try to back three with Nathan Ake. You beat us both games.
Absolutely.
And we went to the Champions League final thinking...
Winning is habitual.
Yeah.
Winning is habitual. And I really don't understand the mentality. And it certainly exists. I think both fans of both clubs are suggesting we'd be better off not focusing on this game. Like if say you're an Arsenal fan, you go, don't bother winning a trophy that we win all the time, because we have the opportunity to win a trophy that we haven't won for 2 decades while everybody else is slacking. Arsenal, brilliant. Everyone else is slacking. This is their opportunity. I completely disagree. Win tonight, you're more likely to win the league.
Well, let's go through those teams. Boovy mentioned them just a minute ago, saying I think both teams are quite strong.
Yeah.
You look at the away teams first. You got Turner in goal, Tomiyasu at right back, Holding, Gabriel, Tierney. So they're resting Saliba, Zinchenko, and they've still got a fairly strong back line there. Thomas Partey's started in midfield. Fabio Vieira and Granit Xhaka starts. So 2 of their main 3 start in the midfield area. And 2 of their main 3 start up front as well, with Saka and Nketiah and Trossard making his debut from the start.
Great.
For Arsenal. Any surprises in there before we move on to City's team?
I'm slightly surprised that they've rotated quite as much as they have. Not playing the main centre halves is quite a statement from Arteta, isn't it?
Well, they've rested Saliba, haven't they?
Rested Saliba, yeah.
Gabriel starts.
Okay, yeah. I suppose it's fairly good from Arteta. He's made use of his squad. If I were Arteta, I would have gone stronger. But fair enough.
And then City's team, Boovy will.
I can read it out.
Oh, go on.
If you want. Yeah. It's mainly full strength. The big one you have to start off with is Ortega. I thought we were going to see the last of Ortega after he made a few mistakes earlier in the season in the cup games. But Ortega's a decent keeper on his day, of course. But the back 4 looks very, very strong. We're talking the best centre back in the league in John Stones, arguably. Akanji alongside him. Rico Lewis has been unbelievable as well, and Nathan Ake in a back 4. Ilkay Gundogan, Rodri. It's a big game for Rodri today to control that Arsenal midfield and try and get on the ball and try and understand how we're going to play against Arsenal moving forward in the Premier League games. De Bruyne, Jack Grealish, Riyad Mahrez behind Erling Haaland. Big game for Erling Haaland. These kind of cup games, you feel that Erling Haaland, we're talking about all the goals he scores in the league, 25 goals in the Premier League this season. These cup games for a striker like that is where the Henrys come into their own. It's where the Andy Coles of the world come into their own when they're in cup games like this against such big sides like Arsenal. So Erling Haaland's a massive game for Erling Haaland today in the cup.
Yeah,
it's a very strong team. It's a big really game
for everyone in the cup, isn't it? I don't really understand where this attitude that the cup doesn't matter or the cup is insignificant or the cup is sometimes seen as a bit of a hindrance. The FA Cup is it's
we love the FA.
Historic.
Beautiful.
Me and Rory are big fans of the FA Cup. We have these conversations all the time. You're a bit younger than us, so you probably don't remember the era of, and we've got a few super chats which we'll get to in a minute as well. You don't remember the era of watching the buses come in from the bird's eye view on telly and the whole build up to everything, even like Wembley songs that people had and all those
even
kind
old
of
Wembley
things.
and all that.
Yeah, so What are your thoughts towards the FA Cup?
Well, I love it. I love it in terms of the opportunity it gives lesser sides to obviously try and upset the odds. Obviously, I respect that as a Man City fan from where we came from from the late 90s in terms of playing second division football, etc. But from the kind of the takeover standpoint, obviously, I hadn't seen, and no one in my family had seen City win anything in decades. The first opportunity to win anything was the FA Cup for City, and it will always go down because I think the transition from City being obviously a very mediocre to non-successful side for decades was at Wembley, a semi-final against Manchester United, a 1-0 win, a Yaya Toure goal. Unbelievable.
Are you desperate to win the FA Cup? Does it rank as one of the things that you live for?
Every season for me, 100%. I think if we talk about Guardiola's legacy in England, however long it is, whether it's 10 years, 8 years, 6 years, whatever it is, he's only won one, and it was against Watford, with all due respect, who were kind of happy to be there, 6-0 in an FA Cup final. It didn't feel right.
Was that the year you beat Man United in the semi, though?
That was 2009.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't the same year?
No, this is the...
Mancini
this is
was...
29. This
Did
is
you beat us in the
2019.
semi-final as well?
Mancini was...
I
Balotelli.
feel like we had a relatively straightforward tie in the semi-final as well. But Guardiola will look back whenever he leaves England, whenever it is, to only win one. We're lucky to win one or two, of course. But with the sides that we've had, and we've actually now got back-to-back semi-final losses, one to Chelsea, Liverpool last season, of course, and Arsenal. We've lost to Arsenal twice in semi-finals against while Guardiola's been at the club. So I think he'll look at it and think, can I get to an FA Cup final? Can it be against United? Can it be against a Chelsea? Obviously not you anymore, but
Sadly not, and you know
sadly,
that.
But a top six side.
I know what you're doing.
But trying to have a real cup final moment. I think Guardiola will be looking at that.
Would Matt Maguire sent us a message.
Alliterative names. I'm always a big fan of alliterative names.
Little super chat there says, worst result for both clubs. Is it a draw and a replay? He's an Arsenal fan.
No.
As a City fan, what do you say?
Not if you go through.
It's better for
A
us.
draw.
Yeah, not
and
if
a
you go
replay.
through though. Ultimately,
But the extra fixture.
if you
I think,
draw,
is
if
the
you
point.
draw and go through, wicked.
Yeah, the extra fixture is not good for Arsenal because they have got a limited squad. Now, Arsenal fans will probably sit there and tweet me about how amazing their squad is. The reality is their starting 11 has competed to an exceptional level. They are fantastic. Even their first sub, the second sub, unbelievable. But the depth at City, look at the bench today. City have got unbelievable quality, and eventually there will be gaps in that Arsenal squad because of injury. So ultimately, you want Arsenal playing more football.
Booth, question for you, right? Which I think is quite indicative of, I don't know if it's generation or what, but I'm interested in your answer here. If City weren't doing as well this season, and trophies were more sparse than perhaps they are, and you had the opportunity of 5th and an FA Cup, or 3rd, no silverware, what do you opt for?
For me, it's an FA Cup. Yeah, for me, it's an FA Cup. And City, I think some fan bases...
Old
prefer
head on young
European-
shoulders.
Yeah, I prefer a day out at Wembley. I prefer seeing trophies be lifted. We've seen sides that are desperate to be top 4 sides for years, and they get to the Champions League. Even Arsenal back in the day, the last time they were in the Champions League, what 2016 kind of period of time, they come fourth. They get into a group with Bayern Munich. They get smashed 8-2 by Bayern Munich. It wouldn't do anything in the Champions League. And I can't sit here and say City have done anything in the Champions League anyway. So obviously I want to win the Champions League, but the FA Cup, it's a real special day out. And that's why I'm trying to say I'm a little bit begrudging of the fact that we've not had a massive FA Cup final against an Arsenal or against a Man United or Liverpool. Watford, with all due respect, again, is that, Wigan, Stoke.
Do you know what? The year that we won the double under Ancelotti, we beat Portsmouth in the final. I remember Lampard missed a penalty. And the opposition, like obviously I think about Chelsea winning the double, I don't know, daily. Like, a couple of times a day I'll think about Chelsea winning the double and like the significance of that. Obviously Arsenal had won the double and were constantly singing about winning the double when we hadn't. And the fact that it was Portsmouth doesn't really enter my brain.
That doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
I think you always have greater memories when you beat the Liverpools and Arsenals in the cup, but ultimately, I mean, when I think of the FA Cups that we've won down the years, they're memorable to me. We beat Millwall, Wigan,
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, Millwall and Cardiff.
we
maybe
beat
it's the-
Newcastle in '99.
Maybe it's the standard of the game I'm talking about then, because
yeah,
Liverpool fans, they beat West Ham. West Ham got relegated soon after. But that game with Konchesky scoring, Steven Gerrard, look,
Isn't
no
that
one's scored a goal against City when we won an FA Cup. We
Didn't
put
Kevin
7
De
past
Bruyne come on at
Stoke and,
half time and be
Watford.
man of the match in that game? Didn't Kevin De
Something
Bruyne?
like that.
Yeah,
He scored a
Kevin De Bruyne
tap
had
in.
like an amazing. But no, do you know what? As much as I said Portsmouth didn't bother me, you are right, because there was also a year, 2012, we beat Tottenham in the semi, 5-1. We scored 5 against Tottenham at Wembley, and then Liverpool in the final, Ramirez.
Yeah.
So as much as I'm saying Portsmouth, I don't care. The fact that we beat Tottenham in a semi
nice
and Liverpool in a final, that was beautiful. So I do kind of know what you mean.
The FA Cup semi-final win against Man United for Yaya Toure scoring was almost as good as the limbs when we scored against Stoke.
Look, watch, he's going to lie down here. Charlie George, he'll just lie down and celebrate. Look at that. Brilliant, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Charlie George scored. Oh, look, this is... Oh, that's Aaron Ramsey.
But look at that.
No swearing.
Sorry. Yeah. Yellow card. Oh, no. See, Arsenal, do you know what? It's Aubameyang. He killed us that day. Aubameyang to Kurt Zouma.
They're the record holders, aren't they?
Yeah, but do you know what? Do you know there are certain teams in certain competitions, regardless of form? A good example of this, Liverpool in a European Cup context. So Liverpool fairly soon are going to play Real Madrid. Liverpool season isn't going well, but they're playing Real Madrid in Europe. They're unlucky, Liverpool, because they're up against another European heavyweight. But I always think Liverpool in Europe, don't write them off ever.
Yeah.
It's like Arsenal in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
If Arsenal played in the FA
especially
Cup,
modern times.
Arsenal playing the FA Cup, they're playing against Chelsea. Chelsea were a better team. You know, Chelsea had won the league. We're playing against Arsenal. We're going to do the double. Arsenal beat us. Arsenal are playing in the semi-final against Man City. Man City are far better. Man City are far superior. Bang.
You see, even the sides they beat, it was Hull City, Aston Villa. I think they were leading a couple of those games.
Lampard's
They were
Chelsea,
losing in a couple of those games.
Lampard's Chelsea.
I think Hull were definitely winning.
Hull were winning 2-0 then went up.
And I think is it Sanchez and Santi Cazorla and those guys. So you never write Arsenal.
Right, this is an interesting one. Callum asked me, I think particularly probably because United are still in the competition, who would I rather want to win out of these two teams here? I have to say Arsenal, and the reason being is because City have got a much stronger squad. If Arsenal are involved in a title race and we got them in, say, the next round, probably rest a few, you'll have a chance there. And I know we just beat City and lost against Arsenal, but when we play City, if City have a good day, we're not winning. Whereas against Arsenal, I feel like even if they play well, we play well, both of the games were open, really open, and we'll always have a chance.
Yeah.
So I'd have to say Arsenal because of how strong City are, but yeah, we'd have both of them, I think.
Do you know what?
We're winning.
Is this
treble.
too extreme? Whoever wins this game will win the league.
I think it's
a lot more.
I think there's a
for the cup
correlation,
game.
man.
I think there's a
I think
lot
there's a
more
correlation between the
people
league
say.
games.
Yeah.
I think there's a correlation. Do you know the year we were talking about this?
Oh,
earlier?
you're setting this. You see what he's done? He's got all
Go
the
back on
videos
there.
out there of him saying, listen, it's done, Arsenal win the league. And now what he does is he starts to bring that
Bring
back.
the narrative.
No,
back.
I
Pull
think
the thread
Arsenal are
out a
gonna win.
little
It's
bit.
like an
City wins
EastEnders
today and he
story,
goes,
a scriptwriter for
City are winning the
EastEnders.
league now.
1 minute Phil Mitchell is
No.
he's got a gangster. Next minute he's a family
Haven't
man.
said
Then
anything
Next minute's a
like
crackhead.
Next minute he's a crackhead.
Haven't said anything.
Wait a minute. Bring this back now. I want to get this. How can you be a crackhead for 28 days in EastEnders and then you're not a crackhead anymore?
Willpower.
Willpower?
Willpower.
I can see why he was in EastEnders.
Willpower.
1 minute Ian Beale's the richest man in
Because
the
he met
square.
that Karen, was that her
Next
name?
minute
Karen.
he's homeless and Ian Beale's not been seen for a good year.
Remember,
Willpower.
Ian
1
Bill
minute Arsenal
grew
winning the
that
league.
beard as well in like 28 days.
Yeah.
Like a
What?
mad
He's
beard.
homeless now.
Yeah.
Who's the calf?
Mate, you
Give me
watch a
one.
lot of EastEnders.
I love
For a man
EastEnders.
as busy as you are.
I
love
used to watch.
EastEnders.
How do you
You know
watch-
your era
I used to watch it back in-
EastEnders.
yeah.
I was watching you in EastEnders without realising I was watching.
Because you were dating
EastEnders.
Lucy Beale, weren't you?
And the
then they
Bill.
replaced her with.
Do you know the meme of Patrick Truman? He did that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know,
Whacked him with
do
a
you know
hammer.
what? Do you know what?
I can't believe
I have never
Patrick.
watched any of that.
I'll never forgive you
You're
for what
a
you did to
disgrace,
Patrick.
bro.
You're already disgraced for watching it.
No, you have
Can we
been
kick him out of the
so
club
many-
for
so many
smashing up
iconic
Patrick?
shows.
So many wonderful dramas out there. So many incredible script writers, and you're watching that toffee.
See, don't put him in the square. Put me in the square, bro. Yeah, you
There's
need
no
a
Brummies.
new,
There's no Brummies.
you need
in
a
the
new
square.
Bollywood.
There's no Brummies in the square, mate.
I can't believe that you watched that. Like, there's so many brilliant.
I used to love it.
EastEnders is top notch, mate. What are you on?
No, it
I never
isn't.
used to
It's
watch
so
Curry and
when
that.
Grant and
Just
Phil
EastEnders.
Mitchell got out led the Land Rover, right, to look after Peggy, it's the highlight of my life.
Janine pushing Barry down the hill. You
Oh,
remember that? Oh,
Barry.
so good.
I mean, the fact
How'd
that
he die
you've
from
spent
that?
when I think about the wonderful creative writers that there are out there, when you think about the amazing
They all
shows,
worked on EastEnders.
No, none of them did. I met them. Very uninspiring
You're
people.
appalling. We've got some super chats anyway. Aaron Cregan says, wait, what?
Oh, I know him. Aaron Cregan.
Oh,
Aaron Cregan is a very loyal subscriber of mine. Big
well,
fan of
ours.
his.
Scriptwriter at EastEnders,
Hours.
isn't he?
subscriber of ours.
No,
Hours.
now, yeah, but
Hours.
also
Yeah,
I knew him
hours.
before. Yeah. Thank you, Aaron.
He says, from an Arsenal fan, worst result could be an Arsenal win. So maybe he doesn't want Arsenal to win today.
That is not the worst.
Zephyr Sanity
Gas.
says, Holding versus Haaland. Yeah, we know where this one is going. And Nader Kafel says, Suarez or Haaland. I'm assuming we mean Haaland now and Suarez in his prime. That's unfair on Haaland.
Yeah,
Because
he's
we've
not at
seen
it
his
yet.
prime
He's not at it yet. He's not at it yet. Look, at Dortmund, he's been unbelievable at City, but he's not actually won anything.
Haaland hasn't bothered Patrice Evra, so I'd have to go with Haaland. You going
Luis Suarez is a far better
Suarez
player.
that is in his prime.
Luis Suarez is one of the best footballers to have ever existed. Luis Suarez was like actually super.
Can we do this debate? Because Adam, we talked about this very briefly once. Tevez in his prime or Suarez in his prime?
Oh yeah, we did talk about it. It's a good debate. This is.
Because no one talks about it.
I mean, they're both wonderful footballers. I would say that Luis Suarez was better.
Oh no,
I would say that Luis Suarez was better.
Tevez.
you're so wrong.
Oh, he's the best player I've ever seen in my life.
Luis Suarez, particularly that one season. Do you remember he got banned for biting Ivanovic? He got banned for the first 8 games of the season, and then won the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
He won the Golden Boot the season where he was banned for the first quarter of the
A
season.
lot of those goals were
Carlos
against Norwich.
Tevez, though, man. Even when you look at him saving West Ham from relegation,
Yeah, good
and then
player.
you look at what he did for Manchester United, and
Then City.
being
Then he got
part of that
Juventus to a
front
Champions
three
League
with
final.
Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez, European Cup,
Yeah.
Premier League.
Nasty.
No,
Yo.
it's not about Tevez was a very, very good player, but Luis Suarez was
I think
arguably
they're
the best
more
football.
similar than you think.
No, they're very similar. We're arguing between two wonderful footballers here. I just think that Luis Suarez was better in every department.
I'd
Slightly.
have to go Carlito.
Tevez every day of the week.
But then MSN period.
You're always gonna love him because I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't particularly like either.
See, because you know what we're comparing there, really? We're comparing Tevez at United to Liverpool to Suarez at Liverpool, and we're comparing Suarez at Barcelona to Tevez at City.
Yeah. It's different. It's different.
And that's where Suarez edges it.
yeah.
Suarez was. I don't really think this is a debate. I rate Tevez so highly. I honestly do. I think Tevez was fantastic and one of the best at the time. But I don't think he gets anywhere near a sort of all-time Premier League greats.
Because of
To
longevity.
be fair,
'cause
young
of his attitude.
Sinatra agrees with Jay, says Suarez is far better than Tevez.
I think Suarez is.
And a lot
far
of the
better.
comments are saying it's not a debate. For me, it is a debate, but
It's definitely a debate.
I think Suarez's best season, in his best season, he's better than if you took an
In his
individual
best season, he's better than anyone to have ever played the game.
No, he's not.
No striker has had a season like Suarez that year.
Yeah, he's
No
not.
striker.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, wait.
Henri.
And he didn't end in tears.
Henri.
No,
And it ended
that
with a
season-
Ballon d'Or, both the trophies.
Suarez's goals contribute to nothing.
Suarez that season, he was literally.
He was
Superman.
amazing. He was one of the best players the
Do
Premier
you not
League.
agree
In a
that
very-
goals contribute to like Matt Letizia scored a load of goals for Southampton? That's not the same level as Alan Shearer. Do you know what I mean? It's
No, but
like-
Alan Shearer scored a load of goals for Newcastle that contributed to nothing. But
You're
you
right,
don't you don't write those goals off. do you?
I actually do.
Well, you
sometimes.
ultimately bottom.
Yeah,
Well, you're
I actually do.
wrong then.
The players are coming out
Yeah, but
currently.
you can do that, but you're wrong. Yeah, it's all very well that you do
Yeah,
it,
but
but
Suarez-
you do
so-
it and you're wrong.
But
Looks like it's rocking at the Etihad, said no one ever.
Nearly sold out as well, which is good.
What are your opinions on rail seating being more introduced at games?
It's
I know
good.
it's been there for a while.
I don't think it's the answer. I mean, I know it's not the answer. I know what the answers are. I've said this passionately a few times. Unreserved seating is the answer.
Yeah.
Unreserved seating and more tickets for the away fans is how you generate more atmosphere. Like there are lots of things that need to be done, but if you can guarantee a section that is unreserved seating, so people can go with their mates. What happens is people go to the pubs, everyone nicks a ticket off everyone else, everyone's got a ticket, they get in the ground, they're singing in the pub, they're singing in the concourse, they get into the stadium, he goes and sits over there, he goes and sits over there, he goes and sits at the back, he goes and sits at the front, and there is no cohesion, there is no unity in the away end. If you had a section for unreserved seating, you would drastically improve the atmosphere, and the other thing you'd do is give more away tickets. The louder the away fans, the louder the home fans.
I agree, to be totally honest with you. That's why you probably get a better atmosphere at cup games, and it might be better here tonight because Arsenal have a bigger away section.
Yeah,
And
Arsenal
European
sell out.
games, like Germany have the same sort of situation.
And Arsenal won't struggle to sell out there end either.
No, they've got very good support.
No shots
Arsenal.
fired.
So there's a weird myth about Arsenal support. I don't really.
What's the myth?
It is a library at home. At home, it's the library.
But most home
not anymore.
stadiums-
I know I can't-
not this
what can I
season.
say, but-
Not this season. No, you can still have an opinion. The fact that you support a club who have issues at home doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion. It's like when I start talking about finances in football, people go, "Well, you can't say that. You're a Chelsea fan."
No,
I'm
you're
like,
right,
"Are you
you're right,
thick?"
yeah.
Of course, I can say that.
No, and obviously it's changed. For me, and I know City's fan base, so it's a smaller, more condensed fan base. but it's
All in
so
Stockport.
it was so quiet at the Emirates for 10 years. It's been so quiet, and now they're chanting. I get it, they're winning. If they were to lose a couple of games, and actually this is a debate no one's talking about in the Premier League title race, the pressure from City fans onto this side isn't nowhere near as big as the Arsenal fans. They expect this side to go and win the Premier League.
I think it's a result of their
It's a lot of pressure.
expectations being drilled a little bit lower. But also I think a lot of the fans, whether we agreed with it or not, and we can criticise after the 8th place finishes, and a lot of them, saying Arteta out and all that. But within the stadium, and that's the important thing, they've always been behind him. And when you've got that, belief, or
There's been some lows.
even if it's not belief, it's just we want this guy to do
There's
well.
been some lows. They
That's
booed Jack
great.
off the pitch. They,
No. But what I'm saying is that under.
No, I think
That wasn't on
been,
Arteta.
There has been no, that wasn't.
That was under Emery.
The Xhaka thing was on Arteta, but the Arteta, I don't think it's as crisp as you're saying. I don't think it has always been aggressive support in
No. But
favour
what I'm
of
saying
Arteta.
is within the stadium, on the majority, it has, right?
No, do you know what? They lost at home one Christmas to Burnley. They lost 1-0 to Burnley.
Okay.
And there was genuine. Like, I thought we were waking up the next morning. We went to bed. Arsenal lost 1-0 at home to Burnley, and I thought we were waking up to Arteta.
I always felt like, the match going support, because you had an online fan base which was becoming more well known for being overreactionary and becoming like really vitriolic and just, and then I felt like the match or the majority of the match going support then kind of swung the other way, and we're like, we're just going to
More
be
positive.
really.
I think
I think that's a good shout.
From my limited exposure, like, look, I'm from an Arsenal area. I'm from North London, and lots of my family are Arsenal fans. Like my cousin, who's a cab driver, is an Arsenal season ticket holder. There were times in Arteta's reign when it was going very badly that he was definitely Arteta out, and he's a season ticket holder who goes. Like, there was that. They were ultimately, at least as things stand, proved wrong, because Arteta's got it right this season. They're looking very good and persevering with a manager who's being proven to be correct.
We're underway, by the way.
But I think there has been murmurs within the stadium as well. I really do.
You'll always get that, though. I mean, City fans booed City off the pitch the other day.
No, I don't mean that was reactionary to the result.
And the refereeing, and not to sound like a trope, but that was genuinely some of the worst refereeing decisions we've ever seen. So the context of the booing was genuinely towards the game itself, as opposed to it wasn't
you can
players.
boo.
I heard someone say "boo Baldy" in there as well.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Baldy?
I definitely
Yeah,
heard
Baldy. They definitely said Baldy.
that.
Not sure about
yeah.
no, that was
Scott
Baldy. Definitely.
Scott Gammon says, "What are the chances we don't learn anything from this game in terms of tactics? Are Arteta and Pep going to play shadow games?"
Well, look, Gabriel is a starting centre back for Arsenal in the Premier League title race, and Erling Haaland is a starting striker. Even that as a battle is something that we're going to learn.
Yeah, I don't think people can. I don't think maybe they'll have a plan. Maybe they'll have a number of plans, and they'll try one today, and then in the next game they'll have to go to a different plan because of whatever, because they've played one. But yeah, I don't think they'll take this more lightly.
I think they will. I don't think they'll take it any
that
more
the
lightly.
phrase?
Sorry, I think that if you think that Arteta has a trick up his sleeve that he thinks he can get one over on Guardiola, and you think maybe he keeps it up his sleeve because tonight isn't worthy of 3 points, I think he deploys it tonight. I think winning tonight, if you are involved in the club, it's all very well being fans, and I understand that fans have their own perspective on this, but if you are involved in the club, you want to win this game. Arsenal desperately want to win this fixture. Man City desperately want to win this fixture.
100%.
I think that you're better. I genuinely believe that you're more likely to win the league if you win tonight.
I also think Arsenal winning this game at the Etihad would give them a huge lift.
Because it's the one thing that we say about
them,
them,
1-0 and it was a penalty. Maybe we don't learn much. But if City were to box them up today,
But even then,
you'd
you'd
learn a
learn how
lot.
to contain Arsenal. You'd learn how to keep a clean sheet.
Do you know-
in
do you
the
know-
Premier League title running, that is so important.
Do you know what happened? There was another time fairly recently when Arsenal were looking like they were going to win the league. And they played Manchester United in the Cup and they lost 4-0. They went away and they played Manchester United in the Cup and they lost 4-0. And their title charge ended that day.
Yeah.
They went away to the other rival just like this.
Yep.
And Darren Fletcher scored and they got battered 4-0 at Old Trafford. And that day, their title pursuit was over. This is similar. If they get battered tonight, if Arsenal get battered tonight, it will have huge ramifications on where the league goes. It doesn't mean that if they get battered, they don't win the league. But it certainly means if they get battered, they might not. They're less likely to win the league. But imagine if they batter Man City.
For me,
imagine what that means for the title.
The
race.
example you've used is very like is right. But
Thank you, Boovy.
The big, but the even more correct example for me is City Chelsea. We talked about it briefly at the start of the show, but we're talking about a Champions League final where Guardiola didn't play a defensive midfielder when Fernandinho and Rodri had exceptional seasons.
Raheem Sterling, central midfield, and
As a false nine. Now, what is that down to? Man City lost our first ever Champions League final appearance. We lost it at Wembley in the semi-final in the FA Cup when we tried to play a back three and rotate the squad. And it was all mind games. And then we go into the Champions League final with Ilkay Gundogan at the base of midfield, which is arguably the worst managerial decision in the history of Champions League final football. It was that bad. It was honestly, it
was as bad as Fergie leaving Park Ji-sung out.
It was surreal. It's as bad as almost Harry Kane starting for Spurs in the Champions League final when when Lucas Moura has such a good spell. So that bred from not understanding how to beat Chelsea in the FA Cup, how to beat Chelsea in the league.
I think we had Michael Essien right back in Moscow. So
that was to deal with Ronaldo because Ronaldo went on to the no.
Yeah, no. Ronaldo scored a header, didn't he, in the game?
Yeah.
Ronaldo in 08. Ronaldo right in front of where I was sitting. Ronaldo scored a header. He leapt high.
What a goal
Wes
that
Brown
was.
assist in the final.
Chelsea scored
2 Champions
Chelsea
Leagues
have
for
scored a
West.
goal in a Champions League that I've never seen. I was at the game, and when Lampard scored, I was in the bathroom.
Oh!
What a save!
I thought he flapped
What's a
that.
save?
Ortega, great.
You know when the ball looks like
Ariel
it's
Ortega.
Yeah,
going
it's
backwards,
going
but
back
it's
in,
coming
yeah.
towards you.
Great save there from Ortega. Who hit that?
Vieira, I think. I might be
Ooh.
wrong.
That was going right in.
Oliver Smith says, Adam, and thank you for the super chats, by the way. I know we're going to miss some out.
No, we
but
won't. We'll dedicate our lives to them. Get them all.
You've just made us a bed that we can't lie in.
No, we
But,
can.
all right.
Get them. Don't say that. We won't miss any. Hang on. I'm going to get every single one. I will get every single super chat. I will make it my life's work.
Okay, and if not, you'll do an extra video for them later. All right. Interesting that, because we tried to make you do that, but you wouldn't. But anyway, Oliver Smith says, how do you feel to be going to Wembley? I cannot wait. Although I really hope Southampton do Newcastle because I've got a bad feeling about playing Newcastle in the final.
Yeah.
You know, just the whole story of
Better game for the
Man United,
the neutral.
Newcastle, their first final under new ownership. I don't like that story, and they'll be absolutely wet for that.
But you don't want you don't want Southampton.
I do. We beat them nice before. And
That's the last-
It
that's the
always
last-
winds up Matt Letizia.
That's the last trophy you won, isn't it? $1 billion quid spent, by the way, since you last won that. No, I know this for a fact. I'll
We
tweet
won
about it.
5 months after that.
What'd you win?
Europa League. That's one more European trophy than you've ever won.
Embarrassing.
Tommy Castillo says, it makes me happy to see Adam and Boovy talking football together again. It doesn't make me happy.
Why can't you just be nice?
And then there's Rory, he says. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
What?
It's definitely positive. That's Tommy.
He says, big up boys all the way from Hollywood, California.
Oh, is that Tottenham Tommy? Is it
Are you
Tottenham
just-
Tommy?
How do you know all these lads?
Is that Tottenham
You
Tommy?
know all these random lads
Are you
around
inviting
London
all the
and
lads
that?
to the club?
Is that Tottenham Tommy? No, he's my immortal enemy. His name's
Oh,
Tommy
is he?
Castillo.
Yeah, he's
His
my
name's
mate.
Tommy Castillo, and he lives
like a
on
real name.
Tommy Castillo, Tottenham Tommy. He lives on Sunset Boulevard. I'm not even
That's a
joking.
GTA character.
No, this is.
That's
Is
Tommy
it him?
Vassetti's brother.
Is it him?
in
Did he
GTA
mention?
Vice City.
I think
Mate, he always argues with
Well,
me.
why are we not getting invited to Sunset Boulevard and all that? Why are we not getting invited?
Why
out
would
there?
you get invited to Sunset Boulevard with Tommy?
Why?
Why would you?
Well, because he watches all our shows apparently.
All our shows,
Yeah.
both
It's
of
our
them,
shows
both
now.
of them.
Don't forget the little clips that are going out. They're doing really well.
Good to see you, Tommy. Thank you for tuning
They are
in.
doing really well. By the way, we're on YouTube right now, and we hit 50K yesterday. We've already moved on from that. We're on like 52 or 53 right now. We're absolutely rolling for them. So thank you to everyone that has subscribed. If you're not subscribed, and there's a lot of you that aren't, hit that subscribe
Yeah.
button. What are you waiting for?
People are liking the Tommy Vassetti chat, lads. Are you big GTA? We never talked about
Tommy Costello.
No, Tommy Vassetti from
Yeah.
GTA Vice City.
Yeah, yeah.
You like GTA Vice City, Royals?
I'm an adult. Why would I play computer? Why would I?
What about you? You're a
I
GTA.
love
You're a
GTA,
Vice
yeah.
City or San Andreas?
I remember
boy?
GTA when it was Bird's Eye View game. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
I was going to say you're more Liberty City or what?
No,
what
I
what
prefer
you
San
saying?
Andreas.
Yeah,
CJ.
the rage.
Shall I tell you an interesting fact about
Yeah,
CJ
yeah.
and San Andreas?
Yeah,
CJ in San Andreas was meant to be Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent.
yeah.
But 50 Cent released his own game that summer,
Bulletproof.
Bulletproof,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
meant
yeah.
he couldn't be in Grand Theft Auto, so it got changed.
You two shouldn't be football fans. This is pathetic. Football is like the pursuit of the cool, and you lot are pathetic. This
I'd
is not
say
football
if there was a Venn diagram...
Football
No, no, no,
fans
no, no,
are
no.
geezers.
I'd say if
and
there was
this
a...
is so.
I'd say
so
if there was a Venn
poor.
diagram of people that love football and GTA, most of the people
Yeah,
love
no.
both.
Yeah.
All the
Innit?
no.
Of course.
This is pathetic.
San Andreas
Talking about
was
computer games.
Unbelievable. It's a
You're
work
meant to
of
be
art.
geezers.
San
Get in a
Andreas
pub.
was a work
Get in
of
a,
art.
did they not have pubs Did they not have pubs where?
I was a KDST radio fan in.
Don't know what that means.
KDST radio and GTA San Andreas. Unbelievable, mate.
You're a
Unbelievable.
Sicko. You're a sick person,
SFUR. If you get that reference on San Andreas, you're an OG.
mate. Get down the pub. Get down the pub and do something. Oh,
I thought he was going to absolutely 2-foot him then.
no way.
Zlatan against Shawcross.
He's nuts.
That was almost as Zlatan, wasn't it, against England?
Almost, but not.
Wow.
Talking about Zlatan, do you think there's any
Filth.
any similarities? But he did dive a bit.
Filth.
It was a foul.
Rolling all the way
He
around.
dived
All
a
the,
bit.
all,
Any similarities between Zlatan and Haaland for Pep?
yeah, they're both strikers.
God, that was so easy to get through. Oh,
They're both from the Nordic countries of the world. They're
It's not
both
Nordic.
lanky.
You mean Scandinavian? It's not Nordic.
What's Nordic then?
Norway.
Yeah. Sweden and Norway
I've heard him
are
Scandinavian.
near Norway. So
Scandinavian.
they're both Nordic-ish
Scandinavian.
country. Anyway, the issue is Zlatan had a big ego, and Haaland is here to be a team player. No, I love Zlatan.
Don't.
It didn't work with Guardiola. It didn't work with Guardiola, did it? In terms of his ego, he's in his prime. Haaland's a malleable 21-year-old kid ready to learn.
Malleable.
No, but you know what I'm trying to say? you got to think abstractly when I use these words, Adam. Not everything's literal, mate. Right? Do you know what I mean? 1 minute we're talking about GTA Vice San Andreas, next minute you can't
That's
understand
where
a
you let
basic
yourself
word I'm
down.
on about.
That's where you let yourself
What?
down.
What?
When you start talking about computer games in the club, like
People in the
Look
chat
at
love
where
the
we are.
chat.
Stop
We're
saying
refined.
computer games like that.
We're refined adults.
We're
we
not.
talk about wine and cigars
We
and
do not-
football
I don't
and
like wine.
gentlemen's
Actually,
games.
I don't like wine.
He said,
Hang
you
on
don't
a
like
minute.
one?
I thought
I'm on dry January, lads.
you're so. I hate people that do dry January. I hate it. I hate.
Well, I'm trying to better my
if
life. and you're
anybody does
slagging me
dry
off.
January,
I'm-
I absolutely
So,
hate you.
Roars,
I hate
in the
it.
month of January, I've started a beautiful new YouTube channel with two of my closest friends in the football space. I'm doing dry January, and you're not proud of me for
no,
doing that.
I'm actually disgusted that I'm now doing a YouTube channel with you when you do dry January. I hate dry January. I hate the concept of
Can
dry
I just
January.
say,
I hate
yeah.
the people who do dry January. I hate everything about dry January. It is for the lowest of the low. It is the pits. And if you do dry January, I'm not your friend.
looking into
and
the wrong camera.
But
works.
Boovie
I'm not
does-
looking at any
but
camera. I'm
Boovie
watching the
does love
game.
it.
It's about football for me. I'm not looking at any camera.
But
I'm
if you
looking-
do dry January, me and Boovie do love you, even if Rory doesn't.
I don't. I hate you. I absolutely hate you.
Someone chipped in the comments saying Norway is a Nordic country.
Don't care.
No, sorry, Sweden is a Nordic country.
Don't care. I'm
Well, you
still
were
upset that
wrong.
he's doing dry January.
Yeah.
I'm still
It
offended.
is pathetic.
Do you- dry January, firstly, like boozing is good. Secondly, boozing in January is even better because you've got no idiot amateurs in the pubs. So the pubs are totally devoid of any idiots because they're all doing dry
Well, like
January.
me then. So I'm
and then
hoping
in
I'm making
January,
your experience better.
and then the other thing is, in January, I can't think of a better month to get in a cozy pub.
What are your
I can't
thoughts
think
on No Not November?
what's that?
No
Fat
nothing.
February, that's what I call it.
No Boston, you're not in November.
No having sex in November.
Or like wank or anything.
You-
You can't do anything.
What in November? In the whole month of
Yeah,
November?
no, not November.
To what end?
Not your end.
No, for what? For what purpose?
I don't know.
Like dry January, as much as I detest it, I understand why you would do it. Why would you abstain from sex for a month?
Challenge.
Well, just try not to have sex.
That's Rory, Miss Boovie's life.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm trying not to
is
because I
that
get so
genuinely-
much of it,
Well,
mate.
Is that
someone
actually a
someone
thing?
asked in the comments, I wanted your thoughts on it. No, not January.
Is it actually
no,
a
not
thing?
November.
I've
Yeah.
never heard of it.
Yeah, people are asking you stuff and you're slagging them off. 1 minute is Vice City, next minute it's dry January. You're slagging everything off today. I don't get it.
Because we are an exclusive club. There are rules in the club. It takes a particular person
The
to be in a
official
club.
video game of this club is called Vice City.
There is
GTA
no
Vice
official
City.
video game. We
There
are
is.
not linked to any
I'm gonna
video
put the
game.
cover there.
No. Well, unless-
Tommy Vassetti on
don't know who
just
that
on
is,
little stand.
but I don't like him.
Tommy Vassetti is the soundest guy any. What a guy! And
Yeah, it's
used
really
to,
sound.
He used to wear his blue
Are
floral
you
shirt.
talking about Tommy Castillo?
No, yeah, his brother's Tommy Vassetti, and Tommy Vassetti used to go around this place called Vice City with his blue floral shirt on.
This is
He'd be holding a
this is
chainsaw
appalling.
and all that.
I'm gonna have to have veto some members of this club. Possibly be
You're
Taxi
1 out of
four.
3. That's not a democracy, mate.
possibly
We're 2 out of
you.
3.
You're struggling
out of
here.
3.
You're talking computer games and dry January. You're one away.
Because I'm petrified we're going to lose to Arsenal and I'm going to get my Twitter's going to explode.
So have you not had a drink since New Year's Eve?
I've not had a drink since
Oh,
early
did he get
December.
kneed in his face?
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
What if it was a religious belief?
That'd be completely different.
Yeah,
wouldn't
you don't know it's not a
But
religious
then it
thing.
wouldn't be dry January, would it?
it? Yeah.
Maybe I've started a new religion.
Actually, people
in
do that
January.
for Lent, don't they? But that's not in January.
No, exactly.
When's that? April and that.
Yeah, Easter. Because you,
Fucking
you,
foul.
you overdose at Christmas, you
Ref's
give
a
it up at
dickhead,
Lent.
man. The referees in this country are shambolic as well. They're ruining football.
Dreadful.
They're ruining football.
Who's your favourite referee?
None. I
What,
honestly.
ever in my whole life.
Howard
Ooh,
Webb.
Ever's a good shout. Can't
Who's-
say Kalina.
Who's the best over the years?
Andy
The little
Gersel.
ginger geezer, Durkin.
Oh, Uriah Rennie.
Uriah Rennie. David Ellery. Who else is there? Who are the refs from
Clattenburg annoyed me.
I met
was good,
Clattenburg
though.
the other day.
He was good. But you know,
I met him the other day. Very interesting.
Howard Webb.
a lot of these refs look like they were old Bill, don't they?
Howard
That's what
Webb
I'm saying.
was.
How
energy,
Webb
innit?
was, innit?
Howard Webb was.
Top flight.
And David Ellery was a
Always.
headmaster at Harrow School. Like it's headmasters and coppers, and they're
Yeah.
very, very refy.
What
Were
about
you ever in Demon Headmaster?
No.
what a show that was?
That was
Fuck.
amazing.
No, I did like those kind of shows.
Did they
I
ever
would
finish
have
it?
done that. I would have rather done Sister
What was-
Sister, but
What did they finish it? Did they find out where he came from and all that? The demon headmaster. Did they ever get a conclusion? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
no.
All these kids shows that I never got an ending.
You like it's like Pokemon.
What was the end of
recently
the
got an
news
ending.
round? Did news round ever finish? What was the
News Round still runs, no?
Oh,
somewhere
mate.
on the internet?
News
but
Round
it's
still
It's
runs.
probably a YouTube
I used to
show.
always want a Blue Peter badge.
Yeah.
I got one of them.
Oh, of course you. Had.
I got
Yeah,
one.
you were on it,
Of
weren't
course
you?
I was on Blue Peter.
Were you?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Of course.
Who presented
Promo,
it?
innit? No, not as a presenter. Promo in.
No, who presented it when you were on it?
I can't remember.
Remember Connie Hook?
Connie Huck.
She was the only brown person I used to see on TV.
Connie Huck was
It
good.
was amazing.
Who else?
I love
was
Connie
there?
Angelica Bell.
Shout out
Remember
Connie
her?
Hook.
Angelica
Huck.
Bell's on.
Yeah, and
Sort of
she's
the
married
general-
to the fella that she used to be on TV with,
Yeah, I see Angelica Bell a lot actually.
Angelica Bell. And remember the fella, what was his name?
I remember
Jake
Angelica,
Humphries was on
I
there.
remember Angelica Houston, who played Tina Turner in the film about Ike beating her
Angelica
up.
Bell's husband. What's her name?
Don't know who Angelica Bell's husband is, but this is.
You'd
Can
know
we
his
talk
face.
about
I think,
GTA?
I think I know what you're on about.
We know.
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Who is Angelica? Okay, Google.
The other kid.
Google is our friend. Maybe somebody in the chat will tell me. Let me go
Someone
into
said,
the
"How
news.
old is Rory?
Don't
Is he
worry.
100 years old?"
Yes.
Scarlet Breadman said that.
Find out.
Dave Wilco said, "Rory, which cast member of EastEnders does no one like?" It's a bit. deep, that, isn't it?
Oh,
Who was there when? Okay, this is.
I've heard a few stories.
Who was on it that was particularly unpopular? I don't know really. There wasn't any. Nobody sort of springs to mind. No, I don't know. I don't think there's anybody that massively springs to mind for
He
me.
was great to be around. That you were surprised.
Joe
by.
Swash,
Oh, yeah, he seems like that.
Joe
He
Swash,
seems,
lovely
Seems
kid.
like a
Like-
good character.
Diamond, Cara Toynton.
Oh, I,
Remember
used to, I
Cara?
used to fancy the pants of her.
Cara,
Phil had a bit of it.
Cara was lovely.
Mm.
Cara
in
was
the old
lovely.
Vic.
Cara was lovely. Joe Swash was
Similar.
sound, really sound. Charlie Hawkins, do you remember Darren Miller? We ran the car.
Yes, Darren
Little
Miller.
Islington boy, from the Angel.
Yeah, sick.
Darren was sound.
I find it amazing that I used to be watching EastEnders all the time and you were in it. But anyway, let's talk about some football because your boy Frank Lampard got sacked and we reacted to that pretty much. But there's a lot of news linking Marcelo Bielsa,
That was so
but not
funny.
only Marcelo Bielsa, Sean Dyche with the job
Mm.
at Everton as well. First of all, is Everton, are
Poison
Everton
chalice
rather
of a job.
savable?
No, not in my opinion. I think that the club are I think they're a wonderful football club. Everton, Goodison Park is one of my favourite stadiums in the country, and I think it's a shame that they are being so mismanaged and misrun that I believe they'll go down. But I think that until there is drastic changes in the boardroom, I don't think there is a way that they get saved. Do you know, since Farhad Moshiri came in, Farhad Moshiri arrived in 2016. In that period, remember, David Moyes was there for a chunk before that, right? So he did a chunk. I think he did 12 years. Farhad Moshiri arrived in 2016. In that period, since 2016, not one manager has done 2 full seasons.
Yeah, it's
There's
shocking.
been 12. There
Shocking.
have been 12 managers at that club. That club have had 12 managers since 2016, and not one has done more than or has done 2 full seasons. It's a mess. Bill Kenwright, it's a mess. There is so much going on at that club that I don't think. I think you get Jose Mourinho in 05 and they go down.
For me,
I mean, they had
I
Carlo Ancelotti and it
yeah.
wasn't going
Rafael
great, was
Benitez
it?
is undoubtedly. Look, I don't like Benitez for obvious reasons. I really dislike Rafael Benitez, but He's obviously a brilliant manager. He's won the league title in Spain. He's won European Cup. He's obviously a good manager.
Playing devil's advocate, and
He had
again, I
no
don't
money.
believe this because I believe the fans are in the right. They have spent a lot of money.
They spent $500 million
Should
quid.
Frank Lampard have been doing better with what he had?
No, because he didn't spend a lot of money. They've spent $500 million quid in 5 years.
He brought in some experience, and they, the side that lost 2-0 to West Ham, and that's why I think they'll stay in the league, because the side that lost to West Ham, we're talking an England international keeper, we're talking Tarkowski, he's been decent this season, Cody, Calvert-Lewin,
I think he hasn't been
Damari
decent.
Gray.
He hasn't been decent.
That's fair, but in my opinion, he's been both those two signings have been decent.
Calvert-Lewin hasn't shown it for any other coach other than
Mina
Carlo
on his
Ancelotti.
day. Mina, okay, it doesn't come off. Damari Gray's fantastic. Onana's fantastic.
Wait,
Just a gay.
whoa.
Nah, Damari
Can I
Gray's
just
well.
lay the
Damari
point
Gray
out?
is fantastic.
No, at the bottom half
What
of the
are you
table,
talking about? He's $1.5 million signing.
he's been their best player for the last 2 years. He's been their best player for the last 2 years. No, he was fantastic against City. He just scored an unbelievable goal
player than
against City.
Yerry Mina. Hang on, he has a Booby. You can't just say these
At
things.
least let me just lay out the point that I'm trying to make.
You've got to lay out the point factually. Like
Yeah.
you've just said,
Well,
Damari
Gray's not
Gray is
been there
fantastic.
for,
He's been
for Everton. In the context of for Everton, he's been fantastic
what,
for Everton.
$1.5 million.
Yeah.
How fantastic can you be when you
It's
arrive
good
for $1.5
business.
million?
I think it's good business, man. I think that's my opinion. He scored a fantastic goal against City recently. He's been their one shining light. And if Everton fans disagree, then fair enough. He has been for Everton. He's been fantastic. My only point to you lads would be the 11 that started against West Ham is better than Southampton's. It's better than Leeds, and it's better than Bournemouth. That's all Everton need to stay up. And I think that's a factually fair thing to say. I think it's far better. It's got more experience than Southampton's young squad. Bournemouth have got a championship squad. They've got Kiefer Moore up front.
It's not better run than any of the clubs you mentioned.
It's not better run in terms of what's the transfer strategy in the next 18 months. Of course, you're right.
Which is all important though, in terms of
We're
the
talking
way
about relegation right now.
yeah, but in terms of clubs that do well,
yeah.
if the club is being mismanaged at boardroom level, they're going to find it very difficult to accrue points. There is a direct link between the boardroom and the pitch.
You're right, to the point where we're talking about Bielsa being linked. Obviously, as of speaking now, we're talking about Sean Dyche, who's essentially in the role, where that for me is a fantastic appointment. And with the players that he's got at his disposal, Dwight McNeil, Tarkowski,
He fell
Cody.
out massively with Dwight McNeil.
You can
So
still
him and Dwight McNeil, from our understanding of what happened to them when they worked together before, can't work together.
we don't know that. We don't know that.
Well, we know it up until this point. If they can rectify their issues,
Yeah.
But they had a massive falling out.
I think you're largely right about everything you've said. All I'm trying to say is that there's enough quality in the appointment of Dyche and the quality in that starting 11.
Oh, what a save!
Trossard's just gone close there. Rico Lewis with the cheeky megs on him as he cleared that.
I just don't know.
I think Everton just about.
Stay up.
I'm not saying long term they're this incredible project like Brighton or even what Forest are doing.
No.
I think the worrying thing for me
They'll
would
stay
be that if you haven't got the direction of the board, and you've got to remember Burnley had some semblance, Sean Dyche was there for a long time. He was able to embed himself into the club and become, Burnley became his club. Everton isn't going to be his club. He's going to be a part of that machine that isn't even functioning properly at the moment. You've got a club that are preparing for a new stadium. They don't know if they're going to be in the Championship, in the Premier League. They've got one of their major stakeholders had to, pull out recently due, like when all the Roman Abramovich stuff was going on.
Yeah,
you had that going on in the background as well.
Uzmanov
Part of
got
it, yeah.
sanctioned in the States.
There's
He
gonna
didn't
be-
get sanctioned here, but Uzmanov, who was a huge backer, got sanctioned in the States, didn't he?
Yeah, so that'll be have implications there. I think
Well, it's his
there's
money.
there's a lot of problems going on at Everton at the minute that far above and beyond a manager's position. Having said that, though, I do think Frank Lampard was underperforming with what he had. I know he got them for a period where they could have got relegated and, they couldn't spend in the transfer window and all those kind of things. But he brought in players that, Onana, Idrissa Gana Gueye, they aren't poor players. I would take them at Manchester United. You look at Tarkowski and Cody. Again, I wouldn't take them at United.
Pickford
But
behind
they're
them.
decent players. They're Premier League proven players. And I don't think that the team improved with the addition of those players. I don't think there was any...
Hang on,
I don't think there was
to-
any sort of style of play blossoming. I don't think there was really
No, but-
anything going on at the club to suggest that Lampard was improving the situation that he was
If you
given.
look at the team that
Yeah.
Lampard kept up last year, which was very impressive, he kept them up largely due to Richarlison's goals. They sold Richarlison, they didn't replace him. Frank Lampard this season, very recently, explicitly told us he wants Danny Ings. Whether you rate that decision or not, it's the manager's decision. The manager has said, I want Ings. they went, you got Danjuma. He went, I want it. It's not about whether you rate Danjuma more than you rate him or whatever. He went, I want Ings. They went, well, you've got Danjuma. And Danjuma comes out and goes, I'm going to keep Everton up.
Yeah,
Hold tight. Tottenham are on the phone. I've got other things going on now. But it's the running of the club. Do you see what I mean? It's not.
Of course.
It's about the manager saying, I want Ings and being provided with someone else. It's about the manager saying, tell you what, we did all right last year and we stayed up. Richarlison was good. Oh, yeah, he's gone, by the way.
The transfer decisions from Everton makes for a lot of interesting headlines for tweets, etc. It's shocking, the transfers. But that window, literally by definition, will be shut in the next 48 hours. So Everton can't mess it about any longer. They've got 3 or 4 months with Sean Dyche.
Do you feel like the squad is Dyche? Think about what Dycheism
I think
is.
they're back,
it's not a Dyche squad.
The wall. They're backs against the wall with Cody, Tarkowski, Mina. Again, I know they're not performing well, and your point about Demarai Gray is completely right. But he's a little bit of a spark that Dyche. If you're comparing him to Jesse Marsh, Gary O'Neill, and Nathan Jones, who was booed
there's no
a few
doubt.
weeks
There's
ago.
no doubt he's a better. There's no doubt
That's what
he's
I'm
the
saying.
best manager. There is no doubt he's the best manager in the relegation.
Is this
scrap.
the right thing for his career then?
It's the biggest
If
club
you're
he'll ever
saying
manage.
biggest club he'll ever.
But then you're saying
Yeah.
he's taking a job that is destined to fail in.
I think so, but you can't not take the job. Whether I think it's a poison chalice, Everton.
But
if
Eddie Howe
Everton
was in a
knock on your
position
door-
of that a few times where you went, he should have took that job. And he waited, he bided his time, and you've praised him for that.
Eddie Howe's fashionable.
If
Yeah, he's
Everton
fashionable.
knock on your door, I don't see how you turn them down. There are certain jobs that I think are destined to end in failure. Everton is one, Tottenham is another. But if you are offered the opportunity of
De Bruyne just bent one to that goal. It's gone wide. Has it gone for a corner? Has it took a deflection, been
the ref's
saved?
given a corner, hasn't he? I don't
Yeah.
see why.
I thought that was
On
in.
his left foot out of nowhere.
It's an incredible save. If the keeper's got a touch there,
Rico Lewis gives it into him. That is...
Poor from Trossard, maybe.
keeper doesn't touch that.
No.
That's not took a.
Is it deflected
Xhaka,
off
maybe?
Xhaka?
No,
Mm,
that shouldn't have been a corner.
Maybe it's not a corner. I thought they were all lining up for a corner, but no,
Oh,
no,
no,
it's
okay.
not, yeah.
It's the right decision.
Um,
Yeah, so Sean Dyche.
I just think that, look, if Everton, remember as well, when you're a football manager making decisions, firstly, opportunity is huge. Secondly, it's your job, right? So, people go, for example, when people would say, Frank Lampard shouldn't have taken the Chelsea job, it was too early for him. Of course he takes the Chelsea
Yeah,
job. Of course he
he does.
takes the job. Like, whether you think you're ready for it or not, obviously you have belief in yourself and inner belief in what you can bring to the job. But you may never get that opportunity again. It would be very foolish to go, no, do you know what? I'm going to sit tight at Derby and I'm not going to take the
I
Chelsea
also
job. And you
think
may never then get that opportunity.
On a smaller
course.
scale, there's a lot of comparisons between the running of Everton and the running of Man United. Not in terms of, in fact, actually, I don't know the financial ins and outs in terms of taking money out of the club. But if you look at the scattergun approach to appointing managers, the scattergun approach to signing players, it does remind me of what Ed Woodward was doing at Manchester United.
yeah.
But amidst all of that, you have managers that can come in and steer things and grab things in the right direction.
But philosophically, if you look at what Everton have done, if you think, okay, what kind of manager, who's been there recently, what kind of manager is Marco Silva? Like, overall, he's a young, progressive, forward-thinking manager, as is Ronald Koeman. Like, think about the managers that have been at that club. They are forward-thinking managers. And then, in the same breath, fairly recently, wasn't Allardyce there,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Wasn't,
Briefly.
like, so you've had forward-thinking managers who will sign players in a forward-thinking approach, and then you've had more conservative managers in terms of the overarching strategy.
Like Frank Lampard.
No,
there was a poor joke.
no, you are right. And what I mean is, though, if you're gonna go down one strand, there should be a consistent theme within the kind of manager that you're going to appoint. Like, when Ralph Rangnick was at Manchester United, people went, well, we should now, if Rangnick's going to be here, regardless of how it goes for him, Eric Ten Hag makes more sense than Pochettino
Yeah.
because it's a theme. Everton have no theme. If you look at, can somebody with a phone get their list? Let's get their last 10 managers up. Have you got? I can do it. Right.
I bet you, in fact, that would be a fun game. We couldn't name them all. That's what's meant to. I'm not going to say try it. Duncan Ferguson was
I'm
one
on
of
it.
them.
He's at Forest Green Rovers now.
Yep.
A new vegan.
In Discovery Vegan Food, which will be fun. What did he say the other day? The world's
I can
getting
do it, Royce.
warmer,
I can
innit?
do it, Royce. I've
Have
got
you
it
got
if
it?
you want. Yeah, I'll
The world's
yeah.
getting
Hang on, I think
warmer,
I'm on
innit?
it.
Said Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah, he was told
Well,
to
these
say
two-
something about that.
I
play
can
the
listen. I've got
phone.
it now.
Okay,
so
so
shall I
do
start?
since 2015.
So we'll go from Frank Lampard up, or do you
No,
go
the
from-
other way. 15. Go since
Go
Moyes.
since Moyes.
Since Moyes.
Since Moyes, Roberto Martinez out of 10.
Okay.
What are we giving out of 10?
Dreadful man,
Shocker.
absolute
But he
best
keeps
agent
falling
in the world.
upwards.
I want his agent. If Roberto Martinez's agent is
Portugal.
watching this, how on earth do you flop every single time and get a better job? You fail and move upwards. I'm after that. How on
So
earth?
give me a rating out of 10.
Forget the rating. That's all.
Forget it.
Okay,
Forget
no
it.
rating. David Unsworth for a very
Yeah,
short
forget
amount of
that.
time. Ronald Koeman.
Okay.
Oh God.
What are we saying about that?
But again, it's a good coach that failed there.
Okay.
He's a decent, he's a decent coach. I don't
Okay.
think he's a-
But yeah, it's not a right.
David Unsworth again for a short period. He's actually this has
Every
happened a
time
few
I try
times
to
now
leave,
because
something
there's
keeps
a lad that
pulling me
reappears
back.
a couple of times after that. Then Sam Allardyce for
Okay, so hang on. This
9
is
months.
very important to at the crux of the point that I'm inarticulately trying to make. No other club goes from Koeman to Allardyce.
No, of course,
Because
of
it's
course.
because and who did you say was before Koeman?
Before Koeman was Roberto Martinez.
So Martinez progressive, Koeman progressive, Allardyce what? Hang on,
Allardyce. Then Marco Silva.
progressive.
He's progressive because he's young, but I think you look at his Fulham side. He's two banks. He's 4-2-3-1. He's 4-5. He's actually quite conservative, in my opinion.
Not with players though.
Yeah, he's a bit more expansive. Maybe the kind of players that he trusts. Duncan Ferguson, then
Forget that.
Do you know what I mean?
That was just a gap, wasn't it?
then Carlo Ancelotti.
That's the best manager
They had to go
ever
for
going
it.
to
They
get,
had to go
ever
for it.
will, ever had.
Yeah.
Like, just forget it.
Then
Right.
Rafa
Did you
Benitez.
see Carlo Ancelotti
They
left
should
it
have
off his
folded the club
CV?
after Ancelotti.
Do you see Ancelotti left it off his CV?
He has a CV.
No, like when he spoke about his jobs,
Okay.
he just blitzed past it as if it didn't happen.
That's
He's like, I did this, I
Taking
did
a
this, I
salary.
did this,
Just
and
taking-
Everton
just taking a
wasn't there.
salary.
You're like, hang on a
Just taking
minute.
salary. I'm inclined to disagree with how you see Dyche and his longevity
You've
at Burnley.
stopped.
Oh, do you want me to keep going on? Do you want
Was
me to keep
Frank
going on?
Lampard
Sorry,
after
so we
Ancelotti?
said Ancelotti, we said Rafa Benitez,
Benitez, Lampard.
then it's Duncan again,
And then
right?
it was Lampard.
And then it's Frankie Lampard. And actually, Lampard's probably the worst out of all of them because he's actually getting
Imagine
them
Frank
to a point of getting
Lampard
relegated.
following Ancelotti and
But
Benitez.
Benitez had him in a point getting relegated. That's the problem. And Benitez is obviously a good manager.
I think Benitez had more points in his half of the season.
Maybe,
than
but
Lampard
when
did.
Lampard took over, they were going down.
Who was it that had them top after 6 games?
Ancelotti,
Mate,
James
this is the
Rodriguez.
maddest thing about Everton. This is the maddest thing. In December, so whatever the date is today, put that in your head now. In December 2020, Everton was second in the league. December 2020,
Yeah.
Everton was second in the league.
Was that the season when Arsenal had lost all 3 and they were bottom of the league?
Possibly.
Can't remember.
Because if that was,
That's when they started the season
to
at
look at the
Brentford,
table
wasn't it?
now compared to then, wouldn't it?
I think it sounds crazy. I see it's easy to say there's a comparison to David Moyes because they're both conservative managers and all that. I think he'll keep them up. It's just my opinion. I think he'll keep them up. I think if he gets a little bit of money, does it right, he could be there for 3 or 4 years and keep them a top 10 side.
Haven't
I
the
think
owners
so.
said that they're looking to sell because of the reaction from the fans?
Yeah, even Mashir's come out and said he's trying to look for a bidder. Who's going to buy that in today's economic? There's a cost of living crisis. I'd rather pay my electric bill than buy Everton Football Club.
It doesn't.
Do you know what I mean?
Your
That
electric
club-
bill
that club-
isn't £500 million. Though.
It is in London.
There is absolutely no way. Like when you think about the clubs that are available to purchase now, Liverpool are available, Manchester United are available, Tottenham unofficially are available. There are a finite amount of people available to buy these clubs. Like there are a finite amount of people in the world that have disposable income that is in this conversation. There is no way that you sell 4 Premier League clubs in the same year.
The kind of guys that want to buy Everton aren't going to be, as you said, the top 1% of the rich people anyway. They might be looking to skim a bit off of Everton. Like people forget
They're building a new
Burnley,
stadium, aren't they?
There were new owners that came into Burnley halfway through the season. They leveraged debt in a similar way to Man United, obviously on a much smaller level. And they came, obviously Burnley are doing well in the Championship now, but they got relegated that season and they lost a lot of money. So Everton could easily get skimmed by a new owner. I mean, at least Mashir, I know Mashir is an idiot, but they could get creamed by someone. I mean, football's not a nice place to be, you know.
No, people. Yeah, I think you're right. Whoever were to look to buy Everton would be.
Oh,
Gosh, I think he
Nketiah's
needs to
gone
score that,
closer.
Nketiah.
We're getting smashed.
He's
We're
gone
getting
with his
smashed.
wrong-
Have we done
When
anything?
Nketiah gets across the defender there, which far too easily, by the way, I think he needs to hit the
Trossard
target.
did well.
Good player, Trossard.
Poor
Good
defending.
signing.
Is that a Kanji?
It's Rico Lewis.
just
He's looked a
feet
little bit
are
out of his
planted.
depth today, Rico Lewis.
He's playing at
to be
right
honest,
back today, isn't he?
Oh, I think he needs.
Rico Lewis at right back.
I think Nketiah needs to open his body up more there and get that on target.
Rico
they
Lewis
should
should be
be one
playing
of them.
different positions every week, hasn't he?
He's consistently a right back. I think sometimes he's
Didn't he
more of a
play the other
right
day in
back, and
midfield?
but he's always a right back. But he's being asked to cover from midfield in as a right back. It's crazy, really. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask of anyone, but especially an 18-year-old kid. First appearance, he's on $3,000 a week. He's not on a professional. I don't think he's barely on a professional contract.
Rory's on more than that.
Yeah,
I wish.
you guys are on big money. Do you know what I mean? You've got some big
Mate,
projects
we
coming
talk
up.
about
Saying-
equal
Products
shares.
coming out. What products you got? coming out?
Products.
No.
Talking about.
No, I said projects. Poker project.
We've got 4,000 people watching, over 4,000 people watching. Can you hit that like button, please? And if you're not subscribed, get
Why do
subscribing.
people ask for that? Like, please do it.
The like
Don't-
button helps in the
please,
algorithms
please
and
like
that.
it. But why?
Helps with the algorithms and that. Helps people find your
Like
videos.
it's for the algorithm.
We've
Thank you.
also close to 54k, which is amazing.
Amazing. Isn't it?
We genuinely didn't expect to get this many subs this quickly.
What are we doing for 100k? Are we doing anything special? We
You'll
just
do it.
having a-
Boovie will do a
glass of wine?
show completely topless.
Why would you? Why would
so
you
the
want
show
that?
is normal. Everyone, welcome to the club. But then every time we cut to Booty, just topless.
We want to keep the 100k. We don't want to lose.
No,
100.
that
You
could
want to go to 100k back
No,
down to zero.
that's
Is that what
where
you
we
want?
start
Is
our
that what you
OnlyFans.
want?
No, that could inspire.
the club on OnlyFans coming
You
soon.
want to live in a world of anarchy.
No, you could
It's
inspire
absolutely
people.
crazy.
Dave
Inspire what?
Wilco has given us
Put weight on.
David Lorca.
Dave Wilco.
Not a Lorca.
Let's not disenfranchise any more YouTubers today, Boo. Yeah. Says, where do you guys think Bellingham goes? I have a feeling he goes to Newcastle
No.
for some reason. And what's funny was, I
this
was
guy
speaking to
smoking?
someone
Dave
earlier.
Wilco supports Newcastle.
Well,
Tweeting from Gateshead.
I
congratulations,
was
sir.
speaking to someone earlier about Liverpool potentially signing him, and I don't think Liverpool will happen because of financial reasons. But I thought at that point there's more chance he goes to Newcastle than Liverpool.
No.
Newcastle more
United?
likely to have Champions League football.
Goes to Liverpool.
Liverpool
We've got
way
the
more
money.
ahead than
Goes to
Newcastle.
You think he signs for Liverpool? What
Yeah.
planet are you on?
I don't think that's even.
I think the answer is he doesn't sign for either, mate.
I
He
think
doesn't sign for. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he stays in England. I don't think.
What about United? Sneaky 150 out of nowhere. You can do it.
Do you know what my suggestions are? I think the most likely scenario this summer is he stays where he is. He does another year where he is. And the second most likely scenario is Liverpool. I think Liverpool so desperately need him. It's so obvious that Liverpool need reinforcements in the midfield. He's such a Klopp player. If Klopp
You
is
think they're
to-
buying without Champions League football?
Yeah.
Or in this equation,
I think
have they
Liverpool,
got Champions League
Liverpool can make Champions League, but equally, I think they buy him regardless. Remember, the player that Jude Bellingham will become is enhanced more at Liverpool than it is at City. His trophy cabinet isn't, and his wallet won't be. But the player that he is, you know the way Guardiola plays, which is very much tactical and on the ball. That isn't going to coax the best performances out of Bellingham. Bellingham's best performances will be picking a ball up on one box and driving to the other box. That's Liverpool.
Now the problem that
Yeah,
Liverpool
yeah.
have got with that is, with Haaland there was a release clause. There's no release clause with Jude
I don't
Bellingham.
think he leaves.
You've got the likes of Real Madrid coming in for him.
Well,
You've got
Dortmund might
the
double
likes
his
of
contract. So
City
Dortmund.
that will enter the market for him. I think they'll try and reunite him with Erling Haaland.
You know, there are some footballers that they're
Arsenal
smart.
could hit
They're
the,
just smart
hit the belly
footballers.
when they get
Bellingham
Champions League
is-
football and potentially go for it.
Yeah, I think he won't make the. I think he won't make the wrong decision. And
I don't think he
might
goes
be to just
Liverpool.
stay at Dortmund. I don't think he has to rush it.
I don't think
I
it's a
think he
panic
knows
he
that.
goes
Some players are desperate to. I thought Sancho was a little bit rushed. I know that the big offer came in. I get United's lure, of course, but wow, I think Bellingham might even stay at Dortmund for a couple of
That's
years.
what I think. Oh, no,
You
I think
don't
he'll
really
do
think
another
he
year.
stays?
I think he'll do another year.
I don't think he stays.
My prediction is he does another year at Dortmund, closely followed by signing for Liverpool. I think if the
I
Liverpool
think those
board,
two things are the most least likely things.
if the
out of
Liverpool board
options he has.
expect Klopp to
Really?
do a rebuild, I think the prerequisite on Klopp's rebuild build is Jude Bellingham. If they want Klopp to do this again, which he might not want to do, and it's very difficult to do, if they expect Klopp to do this all again, the only way that he will do that or have a chance of doing that is by Jude Bellingham being at the epicenter of the new project.
Yeah, I can't see him going to Liverpool. I genuinely don't. I think he's
Why?
destined for Real Madrid.
Real
I think
Madrid.
the finances involved, especially once you get into a bidding war, I think the wages will be too much.
Liverpool
once
spend,
once
though.
Real Madrid and everyone come
Not
in.
like that though.
And I think
It's 150.
mate, they haven't even got the owners are looking.
They've
for
never gone to
investment.
100.
They haven't.
The
They
owners are
haven't
looking for
had to.
investment that they
when
haven't
they've
got.
made big signings, they haven't had to go to.
They haven't got the money.
What, unless they got the new? Have they got a new owner in 6 months?
The
Maybe.
rules.
I don't know.
The rules for Liverpool when they did their big signings. So
And
the Van
Dortmund are out of the
Dijk
Champions
and the
League.
keeper.
Come on.
They the rules then, they spent the top whack then, and the top whack then wasn't quite 100. Since then, Maguire, and since then, things have changed. You've started seeing 100 be fairly normal, the Grealish signing and whatever. So Liverpool haven't had to spend 100 because the players that they've wanted haven't been 100. Suddenly, the player they need is 100. I think they'll spend it.
Tchouaméni went to Real Madrid. What was it, 80
They
mil?
didn't sign him though.
But but they were in the run in too.
Yeah, but they didn't.
And they couldn't compete financially. I think that's a narrative that most
they
Liverpool fans agree
They
with.
couldn't compete with the allure of Real Madrid. Tchouaméni wanted to play for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I feel the fee for him as well as such a young prospect. I mean, they've gone out and spent 36 million quid on Endrick. Do you know what I mean? Real Madrid are a financial prospect
Ornstein
as
told
well.
us, Tchouaméni, Liverpool were doing that deal. Liverpool didn't not do the deal because of money. Tchouaméni wanted to go to Real Madrid.
I got the understanding it was a financial package. It was more.
No, I think Real Madrid have the pull as well. Of
course they do.
Tchouaméni
I
wanted to go
think
there.
Jude Bellingham goes to Real Madrid. But anyway, we've got a super chat from I just missed it. So from Ashley, who says, "Love the show and the podcast. Keep it up, lads. Are you planning to get guests on the show?" No.
Depends who.
Exclusive club.
Depends who.
QPR fan in particular, maybe. Arsenal fan.
Nah, forget.
Liverpool.
A Plymouth Argyle fan. They're top of League One. They might get promoted.
I mean,
Any big
at
ones out
some
there? Who
point there will be a guest on the show. At some point.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if for no other reason.
We can't have an Arsenal fan on if they win the league. God.
Yeah, I'm not having
imagine
any
that.
Arsenal.
Well, if Arsenal win the league, the day that they win it, I'm not covering that game.
No, the day we
Find
win
a
it-
ga-
It's just,
we'll
it's
cover
just
a
an
game in
empty studio
Division-
live.
Cover a different game.
Wow.
Cover a game in Division 2 or something.
yeah, that'd be funny actually.
Yeah. I'll just
We'll
act
do
like
the
it didn't-
championship.
Yeah. I can't.
Fucking hell.
Offside.
Terrible cross as well.
Shit in it. It's just shit, man.
So you're better than that. Be more articulate. What's that? Come on. You can use proper.
I used articulate words the other minute, and
Use
he was
words.
slagging me off.
Flagging me off.
What? Money.
He does. But don't let him
Yeah.
affect you, man.
He
Be
d-
your
he
own
has
man.
affected
Be
me.
your
He
own
has
man.
affected me all day.
I'm doing that Sky show tomorrow with our friend.
It's Thugden.
No. I mean, Thugden is our friend. I texted him today. I was in a restaurant. That
James Lawrence Alcott.
No, Statman Dave.
Statman Dave.
I
Your
mean-
mate.
I'm on Sky tomorrow.
This guy don't phone me no more. I don't know what happened. I used to get all the phone calls. Now.
You do. You still do the. You
Nah,
do the.
I do overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the overlap. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's huge, mate. You're massive on that.
That is big.
But you have to sit next to like a City fan. Which isn't great. You know.
But mate, tell me about it. Tell me. About it.
Is it really that bad?
Tell me
Really?
about it. Yeah.
No, I've been really hospitable in the last few weeks, mate.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
No, I don't know. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10.
It's better than 0.
What's Jack Brain up to over there?
I think you know
Do-
this whole club thing. Boovy's going to become a monster. You know,
do you know a lot of? It's going to be what?
he's going to become a monster
What do you mean a monster? In what sense?
in many
A
senses.
philosophical sense?
In
or
a size sense, I think you're
a
going to become
literal
bigger.
What, like ripped?
On YouTube.
Oh, no, I
I think you're
appreciate
going to
that.
become
Yeah.
quite big. But also, I think ego-wise,
Oh no, you
I don't
I've
think
got an
we know
ego?
what we're doing.
No, Boovie will
No.
become. Boovie will
got
just
no
become unbearable. Definitely.
I've got no ego, lads.
No, you have.
I
you
practice
have.
Zen
you're,
Buddhism.
You're a problem. You're a problem.
I actually do. I meditate every day and try to keep it Zen.
You don't meditate.
I do.
You definitely don't.
I do. It's called the Waking Up app. Sam Harris, mate.
Oh look, is Jack. Jack, are you coming on? Oh no, it's not Jack.
Should we move on to the next topic, which
Torches
is related to? Oh, sorry, mate.
Just telling you, I'm saving your battery, mate.
I do that to random strangers on the street. I'm like, your torch is on, mate. You know.
What? Even when it's not?
No, no,
Pranked you.
The next topic is interesting. Obviously, we talked about Jude Bellingham, but is Liverpool's cycle over? We have mentioned Bellingham, but let's talk about the players that are already there.
This cycle
Van
is
Dijk.
over. Yes.
The level of Van Dijk's fallen off. Salah, what's happened to him since the contract?
Salah got
Mane
his
out the
big
door.
contract.
Yeah, he's gone
And went,
missing.
I'm
Gone
out.
AWOL.
And I also think Mane was more crucial to their team
Yeah.
performances than Salah.
Do we agree the cycle's over for 6 months and then it starts again next season with a world class manager, a couple of signings? Maybe it is Bellingham in the summer.
I think the
and it
midfield's
goes
gone.
again.
Do you know what? I saw something that I thought was like shocking. In the last 12 months, I think in the last 12 months, Liverpool have played 20 more games than Arsenal.
It's a whole season though.
The team, if you look at, that midfield, I think Fabinho's looks shot. I think
Yeah.
Naby Keita is shot. I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is shot.
Thiago's always injured.
Thiago, I don't think he's looked that good either. I think people
Matip.
are very kind to Thiago. They really are, because he plays the game and he looks so graceful on the ball. He's
Barcelona.
obviously a brilliant player. You know, what he did at Bayern and whatever else. But I don't think he's been good enough. I really don't.
I was
The
about to
talent
go really good by Vieira, then and he just
just boots the ball out of
slammed
play.
it down.
But I think it's very easily rectified. Back Klopp, you have one of the best managers to have ever existed. Buy him a midfield, which is why everything I said about Bellingham earlier is amplified. You give them a midfield, and all of a sudden, they look so
Diaz
good.
comes back. Nunes
Diaz
second
comes
season.
back. Jota comes back. They've got a lot of injury. Like, it's all very well to be quite harsh on Liverpool, and there's an element of fun in that. But they have been very, like, you know when people talk to me about Chelsea, I don't like to talk about injuries, but both Liverpool and Chelsea have had ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Like,
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I think Liverpool will be just fine. Like, look, I think Liverpool can still make the Champions League this year.
Yeah.
If Mo Salah finds a little bit of his former self, which I think is fair to
They've
assume
been
he
great
will.
in the Champions League this season.
They got
in
Real
their-
Madrid. They're
in their
unlucky
group,
that they've got
yeah.
Real Madrid.
But I back them. I think it's a coin toss.
Again, like Rory says before, like
They're not
have
top of the
something
league.
in the Champions League where it's a little bit different.
Probably second in
but
the league.
I don't know. Real Madrid are looking quite.
Holders,
not top of the league.
holders as well.
Hmm.
Holders though.
For me,
Yeah,
Liverpool,
that's
Real
how the
Madrid's
league-
always
Barcelona
a coin
are
flip.
very
for me.
good at the moment. Barcelona very, very good.
Yeah, then Europa
Weird
League.
because United Barca are the informed team.
Have you got Barcelona?
Yeah.
You're not that
Manchester
informed. You
United,
drop points to
Barcelona
Palace.
in
They're
the,
gonna
in the
bash
Europa League. That is so soccer aid. That fixture
embarrassing,
just
isn't it?
shouldn't be.
Chunks will come on and take a penalty for you lot. It's embarrassing. On a Thursday night, by the way. Are we doing Thursday night streams? I can't do it, lads. I'm busy. Are you busy, Royce?
I'm busy Thursday night.
Let's get
Some stadiums get filled
let's
by
get a
people like me. Unlike you,
whoever's
you
producing
bell.
the club. Let's get a Europa League roster to partner Adam on a Thursday night stream. Maybe it's just Adam
Who's
by
on it?
himself.
Who do you
If
reckon
we
should
bring the
be on
second
it?
Europa League.
It's you.
Who's the Europa
You're
League
the
club?
second string.
James Lawrence Alcott for me is the Europa League presenter for me. And
Who else? So Adam, who and who?
Joel Bayer for me. Joel Bayer's a Europa League.
You are the Europa
YouTuber.
League crew. We're the Champions League crew.
Me and Joel Bell are
So we
actually
need a
Europa
Champions League presenter. Who would it be?
So we're going to sub Adam out for Champions League. We need someone. Should we go top tier?
Yeah, he's top tier. Give me one.
Olivia Bazaglo.
You can't have two Chelsea fans. She's great though.
Jules Breach.
Brighton fan. They might be in the Champions
Jules
League.
Breach.
They're
Although
doing
she's
so well.
busy, she does BT Champions. She's actually a Champions League presenter.
Doing real things. Sort of.
So Adam's not in
You're
on Champions
absolutely
League.
trying to replace me with these frauds. And then I love the thing that they're doing as well. They're suggesting women so I can't react. Because if I react, I look like a right bellend.
Yeah, don't do
if
that.
I go, hold on.
Nicole
hello
Holiday.
there. Oh, hello, what? If I start saying all that, Jules Breach, what are you on about? Then I look like the bad
Yeah,
guy.
don't say that.
In fact, they could replace me and do really well.
Why do you have to bring gender into it? I don't get it.
Because you
We're
two
talking about
are
football.
clever. I know what you're doing.
Let's stick to
Rory knew what he
football,
was doing.
Who else could we? Okay. Well, we let us know in the comments. Who would you like to see on for the Champions League nights? And
I want to
equally-
bring
This is
Zach
serious, by the way.
McDade,
This
just
is,
to
we've
annoy
not done a
you two.
Europa League night. So also Conference League. You can do the Conference League as well. It's a double bill. Get a Leicester fan on. Get a West Ham fan on. Man United fan against Barcelona.
Is there a Barcelona
right.
fan? Is there?
Oh,
is
in
there-
our space.
in our space, yeah. Is there somebody who actually supports Barcelona?
There's someone that's
Some melt
that
who
has
kind of
bought
cares
so
about
many
it, yeah.
Messi shirts that apparently they're a Barcelona fan.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you mean.
Someone out there.
Yeah.
His mate will probably do videos there.
Who's that? Who's that?
James, he does them everywhere else.
Yeah, he supports anyone because QPR are so shit, aren't they?
Scotland, England,
1 minute he's
Wales.
getting emotional about this, that, the other. No, load of rubbish, mate. Get emotional about QPR being average in the Championship, never getting promoted.
You know, I've told this story many times, but once QPR lost and United lost in the same day, and he did a reaction video about United instead of QPR.
It's engagement,
I
mate.
remember thinking,
Engagement,
you are
mate.
an absolute
He's-
talk about your own rubbish team. Why are you talking about mine?
In fairness to James has 100% made the right decision there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck.
No one
about
gives a
QPR.
hell about. Stop.
Sorry,
Yeah.
shouldn't have sworn. There's a big moment here in the game, and this is affected. This could affect the Premier League title running.
What's happened?
John Stones has gone off, I think,
Is it Trossard?
with a calf injury, and Laporte's coming on. So John Stones, our best
Oh no, we have
defender.
to take John Stones off and put Aymeric Laporte
Yeah, but
on. A defender that, by the way,
you don't want
3 years ago they
injuries.
were saying is the best
You're
defender in Europe.
John Stones twice
When I
the
say
player
that?
of Laporte. John Stone's twice a player, so it's a bad loss for City.
You don't want you want both to be fit. Do you know what I mean? You don't want one to be injured. It does make it makes a massive
I'm
difference.
so tired. I feel like I'm a bit hungover.
Yeah, at the start of the stream, you were. The start of the other bits we were doing today.
I feel
How many pints did you have? Do you reckon? How many units of alcohol?
I don't know. The thing is, it's been like a long day.
Yeah,
No.
just constantly drinking.
I was on G&T's. I played football, then I went straight to the restaurant. I was on a G&T at 1.
Well, that makes your metabolism spike, so you get drunker.
G&T, bottle of champagne, pints in a
Yeah, I've not had a drink in so long. I forgot what it feels like to have a bev.
pathetic.
You said on one of your dating profiles that wine was one of your hobbies.
Why are you bringing up work from previous eras?
Why would you say that?
Because we didn't say that in a private conversation. We said that in a very public video, and I choose to
Why
to
you
negate.
just forgetting
I
everything
choose to-
exists?
Yeah,
Wait,
I live in the. It's called Zen Buddhism, lads.
Me and you were still
Do you know
there
what?
and had the conversation.
Do you know what? If you're watching this in the stream now, it's a book by Eckhart Tolle. Okay, it's The Power of Now. I don't live in the past. I live in the present. I live in the present now.
I
Eckhart Tolle?
I
Eckhart
hate
Tolle.
this guy.
It's the power of now.
I hate this.
I don't
All right.
reference older videos.
Do you know, I kind of agree with
Ebert.
Adam, but I found your case for this so
Yeah.
brilliant.
I don't like wine
Why are you
anymore.
bringing up stuff from
I'm allowed
previous
to say that.
eras?
Yeah, see?
Why are you bringing up stuff from previous
I'm not
eras?
scared about my past.
No, I'm not either. I don't
Just
like wine
'cause
anymore.
you're
though.
a
That's different.
scumbag.
I like cider. I'm a cider head.
Jeremy, so say that on your dating profile. Jeremy Ebert, who's unfortunately an Arsenal fan, so I don't know why we're reading this out, says, hello from Iowa.
Oh, Iowa. I'd love to go there.
What a state.
Did you just try to do an Iowan accent?
No, I can't do American
What's the
accent.
capital of Iowa?
Don't know. Do you know?
Is Iowa
I never said I
a
was a big fan of Iowa.
state? Is Iowa a state?
You were going on about
Iowa's
it.
a state.
Okay.
Hang on.
You
does
didn't know Iowa was a
Chelsea-
state?
Name a city in Iowa.
Huh?
Name a place in
I
Iowa.
don't want to name a
Okay,
place.
do you know my
I'm watching
American
football.
state knowledge is so high?
Yeah.
Ask me stuff about states. Go. Ask me. Go. Hit me.
Okay.
Go. Hit me.
Okay.
Can't even think of a question. That's how dumb you
The
are.
capital of Ohio.
Give me 3 states that start with new.
New Jersey. New Hampshire.
Is that a state?
Yeah, New Hampshire's a state. New Jersey, New Hampshire.
You won't get the third one. In
Is
the
that
comments.
only 3?
I don't know. There's definitely at least
So
3.
New Jersey, New Hampshire, and New York.
Yeah,
I was thinking New Orleans as well.
fantastic chat. That's fantastic.
Anyway, the question from Jeremy wasn't about states. It was about the state Chelsea are in. You like that?
Ah, it's good what he did there. Did you see that? That's very good.
Smooth.
I could basically,
Smooth.
Yeah, get me on
Yeah,
TV.
Graham Norton would be proud of that. That was good.
Does Chelsea try to sweep in and sign Rice away from
Swoop
Arsenal?
in. Did he write sweep?
Yeah.
Swoop in.
He's American, though.
Chimney
Yeah,
sweep.
we don't sweep.
They don't
we
speak
swoop
proper
in.
English, do they? He said, or do they have an original thought for one? And I find this funny because Chelsea had the original thought on Rice, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, we gave up on it, but yeah, we did. I mean, I don't think
Are you fearful that Arsenal will swoop in and get him?
if Chelsea signed Declan Rice, that's not Chelsea nicking Arsenal's target. It's like Mudryk was certainly an Arsenal target, but Declan Rice is there for all to see. And Chelsea have been pursuing Declan Rice and being aware of Declan Rice, I'd say, for about 2.5 years. You know, I think
Do you think you'll see him in a Chelsea shirt at some point?
I certainly did think that. I'm slightly less convinced now. I'd certainly want Declan Rice. Chelsea need reinforcements in the midfield. We haven't signed a midfield. We haven't signed a good midfielder since 2018. You know, in 18 we signed Jorginho and Kovacic. They're still our midfield. Like we've had loan players come in, but we've still got the same midfield that we signed 5 years ago. For Sarri, like that's the last time we signed midfield. So it's ridiculous, really. And Declan Rice would be a huge boon to Chelsea. It'd be a brilliant player to come in. He's obviously a class act, and I think a club like Chelsea would give him the platform to become that excellent box-to-box midfielder that I think he is capable of becoming. I don't know anymore, though. For some reason, at one point, it just felt like he was naturally going to Chelsea. You know, sometimes players are at a club and you just know that their natural next move. Haaland always felt like a City player. Jadon Sancho actually always felt like a Manchester United player. You get the feeling that a player is going in a certain direction. And I'd say if we were having this conversation a year ago, Declan Rice, Chelsea would have felt very natural.
Yeah, especially the Mount thing.
Yeah. Whereas I'm not so sure now. The problem will be
Based on what?
If
Is it what he
Chelsea-
does on the pitch? Does it fit the Chelsea
I think
system?
his form has dipped,
Yeah, it has.
but I also think
And
that
as a
if
result, West
Chelsea-
Ham's has as well, funnily enough.
And
Yeah,
if
his
Chelsea-
post World Cup, he was fantastic in the World Cup.
What about if Chelsea don't make the top four? Then does he want to play? Like, is the whole point of leaving West Ham not to elevate himself?
He might not get a choice, mate. I don't think United necessarily need to go in for him.
United,
United need him, of course.
You know
United.
United why United won't. I don't think. You know how like Ollie would have pushed for like Maguire, and you end up spending 80 mil. I don't see Ten Hag pushing for those expensive English players.
You'll get a Dutch
as
player
much
from
as-
Ajax for 35
yeah,
mil.
he'd rather spend 100 on
course.
Frankie de Jong than 120 on Declan
Yeah,
Rice.
100%.
Jamie Jamjar says, name the
I know
only-
him. I know Jamie Jam.
What, are these all
I
your
swear,
subscribers?
he's a Hearts fan. He's not a Hearts fan, but I always call him a Hearts fan because he's called Jam Jars.
All right. He says, name the only state to end
Okay,
in
right.
G.
Jam Tarts, Hearts.
Name the only state to end in G, the letter G.
Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to say, hang on. I'm going to do
I know what
this.
it is.
Wait.
And while you do that, think of that. Another question from
In G.
Boovy. Now, with this question, Boovy, from Craig, let's pretend.
Got it. Wyoming.
Yes.
Well done. There you go. Now, this for both of you, and I'll chip in at the end. Let's pretend Kane's already broken the Premier League record for this. I think it works better. Whose career would you rather have, Kane's or Vardy's?
Vardy's.
It's not a question.
He's asked, innit? I think
Vardy.
it's a super
Like
chat.
that.
It's not a question.
Like
though.
that. Snap. How quick can you snap your
Hang on a
fingers?
minute. It's not
In the
even
words of a late great,
Who would you rather
it's a
have?
super chat. You got
Who would you rather have, Jose Bosingwa or Kane?
Yeah.
Just Jose Bosingwa won 2 European Cups.
Yeah. Who's the worst player to win a Champions League? Like, is there anyone that comes to mind? Like the worst? Who's the worst?
Play in it and win it.
No,
or
to,
like
to get enough
like
caps.
Jonathan
to-
Greening got a Champions League.
Jonathan Green. I'd rather. Yeah, and he was actually a good player, of course.
Jimmy
slightly-
Traore got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do Jonathan Greening.
That,
Over Harry
that
Kane.
Liverpool team,
Easy.
that Liverpool team of 05,
Good player for West Brom.
that Liverpool team of 05 had some ropey players.
What? Steve Finnan. He was
He
decent on
was
his
a good
day.
player in fairness, yeah.
But
It's a
you know,
full of
someone
money.
like that, like a random
Yeah.
fullback or Harry Kane, he's the big fish in one of the most irrelevant
to have
ponds
started,
in world
to have
football.
started a final, Ryan Bertrand's got to be left field, hasn't he?
He did a good job, but I'll take Bertrand
Do you
over
know he
Kane.
he made his Champions League debut in a final?
Yeah, unbelievable. And he was fantastic that game.
Reese has chipped in with one saying, "Who would you who would you support on the Old Firm, Rangers or Celtic?" I know mine and Rory's answers.
I'm Rangers. Yeah, I already know
I'm
I'm Rangers.
outnumbered.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I'm
Rory.
Rangers, yeah.
Is that a Chelsea link or is it another link?
There was a time when I liked that Rangers team. You know when it was like Gaza.
Sutton and that.
No. Sutton was Celtic, wasn't he?
Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. I liked the.
Who am I thinking of? For
I'm
Rangers?
thinking like Laudrup.
Torre Andre
Paul-
Flo.
Paul
Is that
Gascoigne.
who I'm
Andre
thinking
Flo
of?
went there.
That's who I'm thinking
Torre
of. not Sutton.
Andre Flo did really well for Chelsea. We bought it, arguably he's our best ever signing because we bought him for 200 grand, sold him for 12 million, and he was wicked for us. And when we sold him, it was over. He didn't do very well for Rangers.
See, I'm Celtic. Family connections and that. So yeah, Celtic.
But I mean, yeah, I like
Yeah.
I like both of the clubs, which I know is a very weird position to be in. But I like the fans of both clubs. I like
you
the
like
passionate.
it.
I like
you know,
it.
the
Yeah,
Old
I like
Firm.
it. I like the Old Firm. I also love the way that both sets of fans, the Green Brigade and the Union Bears, they've managed to get an atmosphere. You know, like they've done it.
We'll see more of that in English stadiums. We've
You
seen
need
Arsenal
it.
with theirs, United with theirs.
But it hasn't worked like
there's,
that.
There's others as well, Crystal Palace, etc. But
Crystal Palace were the originals, weren't they?
Palace were
And it was
fantastic.
really sneered at.
Palace is fantastic.
It was really sneered at.
Yeah.
But it isn't our culture. That's why I think it's weird. But it works, and our culture is not in existence.
Well, our
anymore.
culture's been good at football, and the Scottish aren't very good at football, but they've got great fans.
you can't say that when an English manager's never won the Premier League.
There was a time when
Maybe not good managers.
Scottish managers. There was a time when they
They are the elite British manager.
It was
In terms
it
of
was
players.
Scottish, yeah. Dutch managers. The Dutch were very good, weren't they?
And then anything that comes from Cruyff,
Yeah.
who's Dutch, but then you got the Spanish and
Yeah.
Yeah.
all that. Because like
Guardiola
Pep's a
is
descendant
Cruyff,
of
isn't he?
Cruyff.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So when the people always go, "Oh, Pep kind of birthed Arteta," and that, it's like, no, he didn't. Cruyff.
Cruyff did all of it. He was
Birthed
the
all
origin of
You
everything.
know what I mean?
He-
And it's
he was
weird, like
special.
even like Van Gaal and Mourinho's football will have a lot of similarities, but then the differences will just make it completely
Yeah.
alien to each other. It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
What have you made of this game in the first half, Boovy? 0-0 at half time for those that
I
just
think-
tuned in.
Well, Arsenal have been more potent. They've had more shots on goal. They've made Ortega make some big saves. We're seeing Haaland here running through, kind of being all physical, and but it's kind of amounted to very little, hasn't it? It's kind of City trying to smash through Arsenal, try and get like runs on players. Arsenal actually linking up play very, very well, aren't they? I worry about this. I worry about this side. John Stones has gone injured. Arsenal coming to the Etihad, and they are performing very, very well. It's given them a lot of confidence. If they nick it in the second half and we lose 1-0 in this game, it will do the world of good to Arsenal in their Premier League title challenge. 100%. This is a very, very good performance for Arsenal so far. Now, City have definitely had a few chances to nick it, haven't we? We've had a few chances. So if we were to nick it, conversely, we were to nick it 1-0. It could be amazing for us in the Premier League running. But the way it's looking at the moment, I think Arsenal could go on to win the game. What about you? What did you think about it?
I think I'm surprised that I thought I think Arsenal started a stronger team, but I think because of the changes that they have made, and especially holding at centre back, I thought you would have made more of that. I feel it feels too slow, but then Arsenal have interested me in the breaks, like Saka and Nketiah, and Xhaka getting on the ball as well. Looks like it could cause a few problems. So I found that interesting, but it does feel like a goal is going to decide this. And
1-0.
I also had this horrible thought during the show. What if it's our second 0-0 on the spin?
We've not seen a goal yet.
We've not seen it. We've not.
And
Nobody has
we're doing so
celebrated
well.
a goal at the club.
We're doing so well.
It's mad, isn't it? Daniel Ortiz says, love the channel. Much love from California. Who's the only Mexican? I know the answer to this, so I won't chip in. Who's the only Mexican to win the Prem and or the European Cup?
Wow. Is it your boy? I forgot his name now. What's his name? Chicharito.
Yep.
Is it Chicharito?
Well, he's won the Premier League for sure. So
Has he won the European Cup?
he's not won the European
He's not won the
Cup.
European Cup. Mexicans win the Premier League and the European Cup.
But he said and or the European Cup.
And or? How could it be and or?
It's or, isn't it?
Or the European Cup. Or Chicharito's won the Premier League.
Which Mexicans won the European Cup?
The lad for
Rafael Marquez.
Yeah, Marquez. Barcelona.
But he's not in the Premier League.
No. He just
Unless
stayed
he
in
asked
Barcelona.
both questions and he's been
maybe
cheap with his super chat. You know,
Yeah,
got
he's trying to
two
get 2 for
questions for one.
We've just
I
been
like
mugged
it.
off.
All
We've just
right,
been
I'm
mugged
Goodgy
off.
though, so I appreciate that.
Marquez, what a player, by the way.
Very good, underrated.
Underrated.
as
He
well.
won in 2006, I think, against obviously Arsenal. They bottled the final.
Boovy, out of a percentage, out of 100%, what percent is you riling people up?
What, in terms of it being real or not, or just how much I enjoy it?
How much?
Because I enjoy it 100%.
Boovy is 100%.
Yeah.
How much of Boovy is winding people up?
The thing is, I'm like this with my mates all the time, and that's the issue for me.
I love how he said, I'm with my mate. I'm like this with my mates. Like, we're not his mates.
No, but
Which I find quite interesting.
I get a lot of it when I bump into people that watch the show and stuff that I've done, and I am actually like, you know what I mean? I am a bit like it. I don't know if you're the same, Adam. I'm hoping you're the same as well, because you're such a lovable guy on the stream. But you know what I'm trying to say? I've always loved winding people up, because ultimately I do look at it, especially look, we're football content creators. We've at some point in our lives said, yeah, we're going to be on camera talking about football. Neither of us can kick a ball. I mean, I can kick a ball slightly better than you, in my opinion, but that's by the by. That's by the by. Do you know what I mean? But at some point we've said, yeah, we can talk about football. It don't matter, because none of us. I can't say I've kicked a ball. You can't say you.
And it's like we're basically doing what people do at the pub, at school, at wherever with their mates, just in front of a camera. And it's like, that's what I find mad. You know, like when I say something 6 months ago and now people go, oh, you idiot. Like, bruv, I promise you sat somewhere with your mates, have said something equally as outlandish as what I've
even
said.
worse, because there's no
record of it.
No record of it. So we have to
like, we can only rely on you going, Jesus Christ. We can only rely on you going, I'll hold my hand up, I got that one wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I remember my dad winding me up about Cristiano Ronaldo and like basically going like, this geezer's useless, one trick pony, this, that, and the other. When I remind him about that, he's like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you did, bro. I remember.
I love that strategy. Just rewrite history. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I do it a lot.
We're unlucky because, I would have definitely said that I didn't say that about Haaland.
Yeah.
I do a video and someone say, oh, you said this. I just comment when? Question mark. And then I mute all the replies. So people have gone back to like 2019 when I say, oh, Kevin De Bruyne's overrated or whatever it is. Then I say,
when?
oh, when? Question mark. You know, like as if I genuinely care. And then some guy spent 6 hours researching it at work instead of doing his work. Or he sat in his car instead of going into Tesco doing what he should be doing. He sat there, and then I mute the conversation.
Do you know what I think becomes what people seem to forget about football? Like a lot of football chat, particularly in this kind of environment, it's flippant and bravado. Like, you know, if you're in a pub with your mates and someone says X equals this, if you're in the pub, you might go, no, it doesn't. Like that might not be your like.
Sometimes when you're angry, you exaggerate points to make points.
Yeah, it's your like. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your like heartfelt belief. It's football and it's debate and it's passion and it's.
There was a comment essentially about how much of a percentage are you on stream in real life? In
Like, how
terms
much of
me.
a
So for
percentage
me,
do you
I
think
am.
is
As you know, if I did never stream again for the rest of my life, I would be trying to wind you up about Chelsea being mid-table right now. I would be.
Yeah.
What are you? Are you?
The same. I think. I think I almost to a fault.
Yeah,
Like it cause you a headache.
Same.
Being so quick to say how you feel, being so quick to say your opinion, can do your mischief.
Yeah.
But that's how I do it.
I was in an office the other day for obviously I work in different worlds but yeah, I don't all my work is
He's
football.
basically trying to say.
And this girl was like, you know, she was like an executive and 50-year Arsenal fan, and it's when Arsenal dropped points to Newcastle. Said, oh yeah, you're going to lose the Premier League title. She said, I don't care that much. I was just there, of course you don't. Of course, I was like, yeah, you're going to lose. Yeah, I haven't won the Premier League in 21 years. You know, I was just like that.
Do you know there are
I mean?
I have
Maybe
moments like that.
scrapping with old ladies that don't care about
Do you
football.
know what though? I have moments. The moment that I have more is like, you know, there are very particular people that I'm prepared to have footballing chat with, and you know, if you're not, what you get sometimes, like say Tottenham beat Chelsea, I won't hear from a particular Tottenham fan for months. And then Chelsea will get beat by them and he comes out the woodwork and starts trying to talk to me.
Like Joel Baer.
I nip it in the bud immediately. I'm like, I do not rate your opinion on football. I do not value you as a football fan. I will not have a conversation with you.
Have you ever had this? So I was in the sauna or steam room. I can't remember which one the other day at the gym. And this guy had recognized me, obviously, but he tried to rile me up by not talking to me.
Talking to his mate
about
how
United
bad Man United are.
and cussing him.
Love that guy.
And I'm just
This
sat there.
show goes out to you, my friend.
I'm just sat there like, I ain't biting. Not today. I'm here to
He's
chill.
in there going,
I ain't here to
that
have a
David Beckham was crap, wasn't he?
I'm not here to have a huge debate with someone in the sauna.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm here to just chill, go home.
Mate, that's
relax.
funny. I like that guy.
And I was just sat there like,
Imagine the guy, like, so Adam's sitting there in the sauna, everyone's there, they're in their towels, ooh, a bit warm. David Beckham was useless, wasn't he?
It's pathetic. Whoever I think that guy's pathetic. It's funny, but also pathetic.
Yeah, but football is. Football is very...
It's tribalism.
Football is tribalism. It's petty, but I love it.
I love it as well.
Like, you know when
love
people
it.
go, I don't know, you see it in Europe more than you see it here, but it started to happen here. Everton fans were doing it towards the end of last year, actually, and I love it. But it will almost always happen if Chelsea are playing in Marseille. The Marseille fans will wake up at 4 a.m, go and let off a load of fireworks outside.
Yeah.
Love that.
I'd be doing that.
Love that.
I'd be doing that.
Yeah, I'd never do it because
If I could do it feasibly, I would do it. Do you know what I mean?
you
I'm
could.
not that pathetic. I've got other things going on in my life, thankfully.
I'll tell you the exact location of where. Who have you got in the Champions League?
Leipzig.
I'll tell you the location of Leipzig. You go and let off some fireworks. If I tell you the location, you go
In
and do it.
theory, I'd do it. I'm that kind of
What's
person.
the
Do you know
wait,
how
why
bad it
don't
is?
you
This is how
practice?
pessy I get in football, yeah?
we're back underway, by
Do you remember if someone passes the ball to someone else and it's on the opposite team? Have you ever shouted "leave it" and then they just leave it?
Yeah, but you can't say
You can't
leave
do
it
that.
on the
That's
pitch.
But you
obstruction.
you can at 5-a-side. Do you know what I mean? There's no ref. I'm that petty. I do it multiple times a game.
No, but leave it.
That happened for a Watford game. Do you remember a few years ago?
Yeah.
What idiots do you play with that don't recognise the voice?
Leave-
I did that in our game
No, but
once,
leave
and
it's
it
a
went
foul.
into the back of the net. I said, "Leave it," and then the keeper just left it, and it went in.
No, but leave
So-
it's a foul, isn't it? You're not allowed to say leave it.
Yeah, all right.
You've got the you're the only geezer
I'm
from
a
Bristol
qualified ref.
on
I'm
the
a qualified ref. So
and
don't-
no one
There's no
recognises
ref.
your voice.
Huh?
You're
Yeah.
the only geezer from Bristol,
leave it.
sounding like Greengrass,
Yeah.
and no one knows it's you.
Yeah. Do you know? What you have to say?
in the heat of the moment, if someone shouts "leave it," and it's
No, but do you know what
convincing
you have
enough,
to say?
I could try it multiple
I'm
times.
clamping.
What were you told to say in that situation? I was always taught Jax.
Yeah, or just
Jack's ball. Jack's.
Yeah. Say your name or say your team.
No, but if I want my teammate to dummy it,
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
it. If I want to tell my teammate to dummy it,
But you can go Adam's ball.
yeah.
Matt.
Yeah,
What I'd always say in that
Rory.
situation is Jax.
Yeah,
And then
but
they
your
just
name's
leave it.
Rory.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm just saying like JAX,
thinking that. I was like-
JAX more than
I was
Rory.
like, wait, am I missing
No, because
something?
if I
Is that
say-
your middle name or something?
No,
Rory,
because Rory could be
Jack.
talking to the passer. I'm talking to my. I'm not talking to the man on the ball. I'm talking to
Who's Jack then?
Jack. Just
Well,
means Jack's ball.
You
So
only
it's-
play with Jack?
No, it means leave
Wait,
it. But you're not allowed to say leave it. But you
with
didn't know that until we
Rory
told
plays
you.
11 aside and he plays with 10 Jacks and Rory.
No, but you
so,
didn't.
so everything's
you,
a Jack's
The
ball.
thing is, you didn't realise that you couldn't say leave it until we just taught you.
I knew.
So
I'm
why'd you
talking
say it
about,
then?
I'm talking about Power League.
Yeah, you-
Is it- what,
what-
do you have a
what,
ref in your
rules don't
Power League
exist?
game?
Rules
Do you
don't
have a-
exist at Power League.
I hate that as well. You know, people that
There's no
let things
offsides
go
in Power League, is there?
because we're having fun.
Yeah.
Don't invite me then, bro.
Yeah. See, if you
Yeah.
don't, rules are what you do when no one else is watching. That's like ethics and morals.
I
You
don't have
clearly
any
none.
ethics. I just trying to explain how little ethics I have in terms of football, how petty I am in terms of football.
No, but you can
I
still
have
play
no
the-
ethics.
The ethic of football is
I have
loving
no
the rules
ethics.
as well.
Honestly, I play FIFA with my mates. I'm 1-0 up.
Oh,
I will hold it in the corner.
Stop playing.
I'll hold it in the corner for the whole second
Do you know
half.
the moral of the story?
I'll hold it in
Stop
the
being a
corner.
child. Stop being a child playing computer games.
Computer
Adam, do you
game.
play FIFA? Have you ever played FIFA in the last 12 months?
I played it in the last
So you're doing,
hours.
hours.
and so you're
What do you
doing.
play it on? What
I got
console?
PS5.
Grow up.
I hardly use it, but I do play. You might catch me on a little Ultimate Team
Wait,
or Pro
so
Club.
Rory's doing a podcast
I would love to
with
do a
2 out
club,
of 3 kids.
pro clubs.
Do you remember when
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did?
we
Do
should
you remember
not
when I
with-
had
not
a
with this guy.
deal for computer games?
Oh yeah, me and Royce did a thing on his thing to play FIFA on one of his videos on his channel.
Nah,
I beat him 13-0.
no invite.
Mate, but do you know what was very funny about it?
Where's the invite?
I had, do you know what was very funny? It's just years ago. Do you know what was very? Do you know what was? And it was London centric. It weren't heavy rates. But do you know? Do you know what was so funny about it? Right? Guy comes up to me. Guy gets in touch with me and he goes, "I work for a computer brand. Would you like to do a computer deal on your channel?" I went, "Oh, computers, love them, absolutely, yes, please."
Mate,
They went, "What's your favourite?" I was like, FIFA, because I'd heard of it. Played. I had to like invite people.
You do go listen
I
to
got
a lot of live
I got
videos.
JCC. I got Boovie. They're all wicked. They gave me the remote, right? And I was like moving it, and I'm looking. It's not working. And I expected it to have like a cable that went from the thing to the thing. It didn't have a cable. So I'm like, I'm moving it like that. I was like, nothing's happening here. They went, oh, and the geezer looks over and he goes, oh right, turn it on. I'm looking at it. I was like, oh yeah, fine. Where's the on button? The guy went to me, we've given you a deal here. I thought you'd like played. I thought you were into computer games. I was like, man, I love them. I love computer games.
Yeah,
Just from when I was 7.
I play FIFA 98.
Yeah, I'm wicked at that. Sensible soccer, I'm your man.
Yeah, that's mad. I love that.
Why are you on your phone?
I'm trying to promote the stream.
Are you
lads.
doing a selfie?
No.
Are you doing it, mate?
Oh my god,
This is
look at
disgusting.
Look at this. Look
What's
at this.
wrong with you?
Look at this.
What is wrong with you?
On
You're doing,
Tinder,
no.
and
you're doing selfies on Tinder.
look at the state of him.
You're on Tinder.
No, I'm on Instagram, mate.
Why are you doing that now?
Just a little vertical to promote the stream.
Yeah,
It's
but it's too
0-0.
late.
Nothing.
You should have done that at the
We're
beginning.
talking about FIFA and all that. This
Yeah, you
long
brought it
story.
up.
We spent more time talking about this random story than actually about football. Lads.
Mate, so you get your phone out, do you? Very unprofessional.
All right,
I'm just
then.
trying to tag the club live
For
now.
the next 2 minutes, give us your thoughts, Booth.
Yeah, how have you found this game's going?
Well, for
You've
me,
obviously
I think for me, Ortega's been absolutely fantastic. For me, Rico Lewis has been absolutely fantastic. For me, John Stone's been absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I think they've all been
not on the
absolutely.
pitch.
Huh?
Is he on the pitch?
He was, and then he got taken off.
Oh, you know that.
Huh? Yeah, I
knew
did
that.
actually. I'm still talking about it, by the way. Laporte's been absolutely fantastic for me. Ilkay Gundogan, absolutely
Mate,
fantastic.
that's why you
lads.
subscribe to the club for that level of analysis. Wow, we are lucky to have you.
All banter aside,
still
lads.
on the phone, yeah?
I'm just trying to promote the stream, lads.
Still on the phone.
All banter aside, it is worrying for City in it. You know, we're at home against Arsenal. They've had the better chances, 0-0, and they've been the better side, haven't they? Is that fair
Not
to
if
say?
you win.
We're on the break now.
Not if you win.
Now, what are we going to do?
Erling, get moving.
He ain't got the
Oh,
pace for
these
it.
are Oh, wait.
Silly foul.
That's not a foul. It's not a foul. Yeah, that's right.
I think that
never
was.
a foul.
Was that
It
not?
was a
wasn't
bit of
given.
a foul.
I think it was a foul. Yeah.
w-
I would have said that if it
No,
can't just charge into.
in modern day, it's not, unfortunately.
No, but it's,
No, in my version of football, it should never be a foul. You should be allowed to
you
go for the
don't- there
ball.
are no versions of football.
There is.
Football is
My version of football is the stuff that I liked in the early 2000s.
Mahrez, you loon. See, this is the problem with City, bruv. Mahrez was
They're
in.
all looking
What
for
are you on?
Haaland all
Tries
the
to
time.
pass it
What
to
are you on
Haaland.
about?
No, Morris was in room.
Haaland's a donkey, man.
It was a bit worrying about the pace there. I know he's a quick player for his height, but we're a lot slower as a side, aren't we? Do you lads agree that, you know, we've got the lack of, you know, even Liverpool back in the day, Mane, Salah, Rashford for United. You know, we don't have pace, do we?
Raheem.
You've not replaced any of your
Raheem.
Sterling,
Raheem.
even Zinchenko had a little yard of pace.
Sane.
Look at this, whipping the ball in. Like, it was a good ball actually, but
Stan merchants,
Mahrez
that's
scored
what
it.
you lot are.
that's why Rico Lewis has been so pivotal because he's got look at that little turn of pace. Look how far up the pitch he is already.
You're starting to turn the screw here, though. Look, you're
Better, it's
camped.
better.
You're camped in their half.
Yeah.
They've got every man behind the
Is
ball.
this Arsenal's plan here, though?
Counter attack.
Mm.
They've done it a few times this season, haven't they?
I think
really,
this will.
really
I think
well.
this will be City setting the tempo rather than Arsenal, though.
Fair.
This isn't.
Here we go.
Yeah, look, you're in behind. Oh, you useless.
Oh.
You told me he was good. You literally just told
Who?
me how good he was.
He's an 18-year-old kid. He's about half your age.
What's that got to do with the price of fish?
Well, don't slag him off.
Why not?
He's been unbelievable
The
this season.
footballer.
He's been unbelievable this season.
You-
Mad to think he's half your age, isn't it?
you-
Well, roughly.
He's. I expected more from him in that situation.
Yeah. There's been a lack of quality from both sides. You know, that's why it's 0-0. Do you know what I mean? We're yet to see a goal, lads. It's been 3 hours of football,
We haven't seen a goal on this club.
and we're doing
we're
so
gonna-
well.
We're gonna do 2-0
Imagine
now.
if the first two games were 4-4 and 5-4.
Well, we should have done the other game.
Yeah,
open
I was
weekend.
available for it.
United
That's
Arsenal.
because you ain't got a bird or nothing. Of course you're available. You're available all the time. When are you not available? Mate, you do one at 2 o'clock in the morning. What else are you doing?
He's always walking around the office
Yeah.
swiping
What
right.
else are you going to do? Of course you're available. I know you're available, mate. Other people have commitments and stuff. Of course you're available. I was available, yeah. No shit, you're available.
Whose mug is that?
Mine.
That's yours.
Well, I mean, I had a cup of Rosie Lee in there.
No,
Why?
is that?
No, I
is that
don't know.
your
I just took
family
it out of the
on
office. No, I just found it.
there? All right. Just,
Why?
Just thinking someone's random family on your mug and on the TV and that.
Does she recognise you? You recognise her even?
Mm.
Does she recognise you? Do you
No.
recognise him?
But who couldn't do the Arsenal United game out of you two lads out of interest? Because I could do it.
I could
because
do it.
it was my kid's birthday.
It's
And the
pathetic
reason
if
I
you
have
ask
a
me.
kid is because I had a bird and then she became my wife. Try it one day,
How did
my
you have a
friend.
kid?
And maybe then you won't be available at all hours God sends. No,
I've never offered myself at 2 a.m. for this fucking club.
but you would.
No,
Why
I
do you
wouldn't.
keep swearing?
No, I wouldn't.
That stops.
Oh, I'll stop swearing.
We're
But
allowed to swear,
I would
but
never
not
do a 2
only in
a.m.
the heat of the
stream.
moment.
I'd never do a 2 a.m.
You would.
No, I wouldn't.
You would.
What better thing
What
to do?
difference? 2
I'm in
a.m.
my
and 2
prime
a.m.
in
and
London,
2
lads.
2 a.m. and 2 p.m. are exactly the same to you. They make no difference. Time is a man-made construct to you.
I've got a great routine
What
going.
would you be doing at 2 in the morning that you couldn't do at 2 in the afternoon? Or what would you be doing at 2 in the afternoon that you couldn't do at 2?
Well, usually I'm either working at that point or asleep.
What
You
you
know, they're
doing?
two very different
What
things.
you
Aren't they?
working,
So, huh?
Doing what?
He's either
Lot
working
of
or
work.
asleep. That's
Lot of
his
work.
life.
Yeah.
I'm either working or asleep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, what did you do today? I worked.
Well, lad,
then what?
I was
Then I
available-
went to bed.
I was
Then
available
what?
for a 5-goal thriller.
Then I worked.
A 5-goal thriller, lads,
I went to
and
bed.
you lads weren't available.
Yeah.
Okay, 5-goal thriller. Now we're having to watch 2 Dross 0-0s. And we're getting Carl
'Cause of
Walker
your team.
coming on to try to change the game. That's how bad it is. Do
It's your manager's decision. Have a word.
Pathetic.
Have a word.
you reckon he'd ever come on if we were really successful?
Pep
with this?
Guardiola?
Yeah,
No.
get him on.
He would never want to meet you.
Why
Pep
not?
Guardiola's a far
wouldn't like
superior
you.
manager than he
You
was
don't
a
think
player.
he'd like me?
I don't think he'd like
Do you know how much I love Guardiola?
No, but I don't think it's reciprocal.
How much would it hurt you if you found out?
I don't
Pep
think
Guardiola
Lampard liked
didn't
me. You
like
know how much I love Frank Lampard? I don't think he'd like me.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know what you mean. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
that would break my heart. You know,
Yeah.
if I found out someone that I loved. hated
Yeah,
me.
I don't think
Like
Frank
I know
Oh!
McTominay gave me a dirty look in the tunnel,
No, but
once,
you don't care about
and I didn't care.
No.
Maguire, he walks past
if
me in the
it's
tunnel,
Beckham
and
or
I don't
something.
even ask for an interview.
No, if I met
Samson
Kai Havertz, genuinely, if Kai Havertz came in here now, I'd probably just leave.
Yeah.
Well, you got a stream to do.
No, I'd finish my job because I have a
right.
Lutheran work ethic.
Yeah.
But like you know Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard could have anything he wants. He could sleep in my spare room for as long as he wants. You know, if Christine ever threw Frank out,
Yeah.
he could sleep in my spare room.
Right.
If I met Kai Havertz, say I met Kai Havertz in need. Say I was driving my car and I pull into a service station at 3 a.m. Pull in and it's all rainy and there's this car there with the bonnet up and it's steaming and there's a guy there trying to fix his car and it's broken. He can't fix it. At 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna like wind down my window. I'm gonna go, mate, can I help you? I'll do anything. I've got jump leads in the back. If you know how to use them, wicked. I'll do anything. I'll drive you somewhere. I'll give you some money. Get a hotel. If I land down a window and it's Kai Havertz, I'm driving. I'm
Scored a
gone.
goal to help you win a Champions
Yeah, and I'm
League.
very grateful for that. But
Wouldn't you
we're
at
not
least give
friends.
them the yellow pages or whatever? Or the
Stand-ons, kiss
yeah,
someone.
yeah. So, all right, if Frank Lampard texted you, he said,
Yeah, I'd
Rory,
go now,
Rory,
whatever the answer
I
is.
need you to give me
A kidney.
every pound you have,
Yeah.
and I don't know when I'll give
That's
it back
not really
to you.
that's silly.
I'll
No,
give
but
it-
no, but let's just say I've lost everything. Frank Lampard, Everton has somehow rinsed him of all his money.
I can't give
Rory,
him all my money
you're
because
the
I
only
have
person.
dependents. I can't give him my child's money, but he can come and live in my house and I'll feed him and bathe him. I will make sure that Frank Lampard is warm.
Rory
He has
and Frank
shelter.
sharing
He's got food in his
bathwater.
belly.
And he has food in his belly.
Yeah, but you wouldn't give him all your money.
I can't give him my money because I've got a kid.
It's a
Yeah.
lot,
But-
it's a,
but
it's a
prior
lot
to
of
a kid-
belly as well.
What? Okay. Yeah.
No, I would do anything for Frank Lampard. There's no question that Frank Lampard could ask me that the answer's no. None. Doesn't
Give me all your money.
No, but that's
That is a no then.
that's a question that relates to my
I'm just being
child.
pedantic, but there is a question.
No, but that relates to my child.
Right.
If it relates only to
That is
me,
still to
my
you, though.
my belonging,
Yeah, yeah.
only mine.
Okay.
He can have the shirt off my back and I go home topless in January.
Give me all of your items that you own.
Yeah.
All right, this is stupid. Let's move on. All right, we're just descending into utter madness now.
Why is that mad?
All right.
Wait, I've been drinking all day, but what have you been doing?
Would you
I'm
give
high on life, mate.
Frank
I'm high on
Lampard your heart? How about that then?
Would you give me your kidney? Would you give him a kidney right now?
Yeah, I've got two of them. He can have.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
Would
He
you
can
give him
have
a
one.
kidney?
Genuinely,
That's
Frank Lampard can have a
amazing.
kidney.
What are we doing?
I wouldn't give a fuck. Would
Kai
you give a
Havertz
footballer a
can't,
kidney?
Kai Havertz can't have a kidney.
I wouldn't give anyone. Maybe company. Maybe Vincent Company. Maybe Vincent Company.
You'd help Burnley.
That's the point. That's the point, isn't it? They'll be back next season. By the way, we're gonna have to do the club live with Burnley in the league next season.
Oh, that's horrible. Isn't
Josh Brownhill midfield.
Yeah, they will be back, won't they? They're definitely back. Who else is coming up?
it? They're going to like break the record.
Sheffield
innit?
United.
I hope
Look good.
Middlesbrough get up with Carrick.
Middlesbrough.
They're in some unbelievable form.
Middlesbrough, big club. I wouldn't mind. Middlesbrough back up.
There's
They're
a
just
point-
very awkward to get there. You have to go to Darlington and get the
Yeah,
train
it's a
across.
myth.
I find that
Championship.
annoying.
There's about 12 clubs that could get promoted this season. That's unbelievable. There's a point in the season
Queen's Park
where
Rangers, one of them.
definitely not.
We don't want Rangers up.
I just want the big teams up, especially as we're going to lose some big teams this year.
Yeah, so let's have a look.
I think we only lose one. It's Leeds, hopefully.
So the top six
No, but
at
West
the
Ham
moment.
could go. Everton
top
could
six-
go.
You're right. Yeah.
At the
yeah.
moment, Burnley, Sheffield United, Watford, Blackburn,
Oh, that's
Norwich,
terrible.
Borough.
Yeah, it's the same size again.
Hang on a
Thank
minute.
God it's not Norwich.
Hang on a minute.
Sunderland aren't far out.
No, this is not good.
We don't want
this
them.
is not good for
Poznanian
the Premier
Sunderland
League.
would be good.
bastards, So nah.
Sunderland would be
So
great.
you two
In
can
terms of-
Poznan
No,
together
Sunderland,
like a
Sunderland
set
would be
of
great.
morons.
Sunderland, massive club. I'd like Sunderland up. Sunderland are a Premier League team.
Nah.
Sunderland-
keep Sunderland where they are. Just give me another season of Sunderland till I die. And
But your
fuck off.
boys there, Diallo, he's done very, very
He's
well.
done really well, and then we're going to take him back.
Tony
No,
Mowbray.
Sunderland.
In fact, we should let them get close to promotion and take him back.
That's
No,
shit.
Sunderland
Why,
are
why
one-
don't you want your boy to experience the utter joy of bringing Sunderland back into the Premier League? Do you know what that would do for his confidence? But you don't care about that, do you, as a United fan? You don't care about anything good or wholesome.
Middlesbrough and Sunderland are the teams I want to come up with Burnley, but that's very
Not
unlikely.
Borough.
I don't want
An empty
Burnley. to come
Riverside every week.
Not
It
empty,
was
they've
empty.
got good support.
Under Cranker, it was empty every week.
No,
in the
they've
Premier
got
League.
they've got
Carrick.
good support. Borough. They've got
At the
good
Riverside, they were struggling economically, whatever, fair enough. But it was a shocking place to go about 7 years ago when Cranker was
Do you
there.
want Watford back? Nah.
No,
No,
no.
Blackburn back?
No.
Nah, yeah, I want
Yeah,
Blackburn back.
Blackburn back.
Ewood Park. That's class.
It's not.
Yeah, that is.
It is class.
not.
Burnley are
Ewood
obviously
Park.
coming back. I don't
How
want
can
them
you how
back.
can you
But
like
go on.
Blackburn but dislike Burnley?
Actually, Blackburn
shout,
makes
yeah.
Burnley interesting.
Yeah, bastard.
You don't want Burnley and Blackburn.
That's what they say,
happened,
isn't it? Bastards. And Dingles. Dingles versus bastards. That's what it is. That's the rivalry.
If you could go to any British fixture,
Newcastle, Sunderland,
the
I
old firm will just take.
Yeah, no, but if you make it English, because if you say British, mate, if you said in the world,
any
I'll
English
probably
fixture
still pick
that's
the
not
old
like
firm.
the top six.
If you derbies, I like, mate. You know a big derby, and it seems to go. Villa Birmingham.
Oh yeah,
Villa Birmingham
Yeah, of
go.
course.
Do you remember when they were on the pitch and they're firing
Yeah, yeah.
fireworks at each
That
other?
lad ran on and kicked Jack Grealish in the game.
punched
But
him.
no, he belted him.
Sorry,
innit?
punched him, yeah.
And then there was a
Remember
geezer.
the
Do you remember
Enkelman
Peter,
days?
Peter Enkelman? When the geezer runs up to him, he's going to cheer him. He gets close. He's like, he's massive. Yeah, Enkelman let one in from a throw
Them
in,
games
didn't he?
used to shut down
He
the
let-
whole city.
He let, did they?
Yeah, because it hit his stud, it counted.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, but it didn't. It didn't. I'm sure VAR nowadays will say it didn't. Because he went to
I'd
control
love
it.
that in VAR now.
Mate,
They were like,
I think
Millwall could get promoted.
oh no,
I think
it'd make it interesting.
Villa
yeah.
Birmingham, Newcastle Sunderland, Portsmouth Southampton, they're all worthy of going.
I'll say one that no one thinks about.
Bristol City, Bristol
Bristol
Rovers.
City Rovers.
It's a good one, yeah.
And they never play each other because Rovers are always
Does it,
in a lower
does it
league.
go Bristol Cardiff? Is that close
Bristol
enough
Cardiff's
to be a
nasty.
rivalry?
It's real nasty.
Bristol
Yeah,
Cardiff is
I've been to a few.
What
of them.
about
Nasty.
Bristol? What
Bristol
else is
City,
there?
Stoke
What about
City,
Bristol
bad.
Swindon?
I don't.
Is that a thing?
We've not been in the same league a lot. There's a moment where Bristol City got promoted out of League One, and Aidan Flint, who's a former Swindon player, in an interview, the guy was like, "Oh, you gas that Swindon might get promoted this season? They were in the playoff final." He said, "No, I fucking hate Swindon like that." Sorry, but I absolutely hate Swindon. So yeah, Swindon. Yeah, it's
You
not,
don't
it's not
have
great.
to-
Slugs, didn't they?
But City Rovers is nasty.
City Rovers, yeah.
It's nasty.
I think Rovers aren't a big enough club, though, are they?
I think
Bristol-
you're right,
They got a real
Villa
hardcore
and
fan
Blues
base.
is
They're
probably
one of the oldest
biggest
clubs in the
outside.
country.
Yeah,
Rovers.
but they don't have the like.
So it's a small part of the city. Yeah, Bristol City are the biggest club in the city, but don't mean anything. There's never been a Premier League side from Bristol. It's
No.
crazy.
No, all the West Country.
They were top league, top
Swindon.
division, though,
West
isn't it?
Swindon,
Is Swindon West Country, though?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that West enough to become West
definitely
Country?
West Country.
Yeah, Swindon.
And they were only
first.
up for 1 year, weren't they?
Yeah, and they were shit.
And they were only up for 1 year. I think it was Glenn Hoddle. That brought them up.
Player manager.
Glenn Hoddle brought them up.
Wow.
yeah. John Moncourt.
Oh, I remember him.
John
Played for West
Walker.
Ham as well,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But yeah, I think Newcastle Sunderland be a good one.
Oh yeah,
Newcastle Sunderland.
yeah, unbelievable. And what Tony Mowbray's doing there is unbelievable as well.
Yeah.
The championship's always so competitive. I love the
It's
championship.
the best league,
Yeah, I
pound for
think
pound
so
in
as
the
well.
world.
I really
I
don't
agree
agree
so
with
as
that.
well.
I know you
Like,
both think it, but
relative
I
to
think
the
there's
money.
this weird glamour that the Premier League clubs put on the
I also
Championship.
think outside
Yeah.
the big five leagues, it's the best league.
It's the best league, pound for pound in the world.
No, I
Easily.
mean, I don't know
of the
your
most
metric
watched as
for
well.
working that
Yeah.
out, and I'm sure that maybe you're right. I don't watch it enough to be totally honest with you to know if that's true or not. I just think that there is this glamour that's attached to the Championship that doesn't exist if you're in it. Like, you-
Oh yeah,
It's a slog.
Yeah,
It's a
When you
hell
go
of a
down,
season.
you've had it. Yeah,
Yeah.
But look at some of the sides. Sheffield United, one of the biggest clubs in the country. Blackburn, former Premier League
Sheffield
winners.
United aren't even the biggest club in Sheffield.
Yeah, they are. They're big on Wednesday.
Of course they're not.
Yes, they are.
Oh my
Wednesday
God.
haven't been a Premier League side in years.
Nah,
my
bro.
God, mate.
Sheffield Wednesday, bro. Are you mental?
All right, both are big then. Can we
Let's
agree
not.
with that?
No,
Both
no,
are
no.
big.
Yeah, but Sheffield Wednesday are a much bigger club.
Okay, fine. Maybe I've, from my perception,
In my
Yeah, no,
opinion.
no.
United have always been a bigger because of the stadium,
No,
the
no.
Premier League state
No, no,
more
mate.
recently than
My
Wednesday.
first ever game was against
Fine,
Sheffield
fine.
Wednesday.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Okay,
No,
but
Like I remember Sheffield
you know how
Wednesday.
you said the city is Bristol City?
yeah, it's
The
Sheffield
City, yeah,
Wednesday
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and a bit United. That's interesting. Coventry, huge club. They are a huge club.
Remember Aloisi and that.
Yeah.
You know.
Peter Unlove.
Yeah,
West
yeah,
Bromwich
yeah.
Albion,
Stephen
big club.
Krizovic.
Robbie Keane
Stephen
time.
Krizovic. Oh, he did a post. Great hit that.
Who hit the post then?
Not sure who pinged it, but it was I looked up and it hit the post. Oh, well played, Grealish. Sin. It's the first goal on the
Don't
club.
look at me for a celebration.
First goal
Come
on.
on.
First goal in the club. I like how he has to stoop to keep it shot. Yeah.
Yes, Nathan Ake, right foot.
I love that boot.
Come on, I had to look
Was it
at
okay?
Nathan Ake on his
Yeah,
right
yeah.
foot.
What was it?
Get in there.
I love how he looked at us for a celebration. Like, oh,
Yeah.
get out of here,
Yeah.
you just mug.
Very good finish. Exquisite finish. That was coming, wasn't it? We said a while ago that City were
It was a
captain.
very,
Pin
very
them
good
back.
finish.
Mate, watch this
Passed it
pinger
in.
on the post.
Oh, that was Grealish. No, it wasn't Grealish.
What's he doing on his right foot?
Who was
Who
that?
is that? Who's that move in the middle?
I can't see.
Julian Alvarez, maybe.
Oh, it's such a gorgeous finish.
What a finish.
19. Who's 19?
Who's 19?
Cancelo. No, Cancelo's 7.
No. Who's it that?
Just right,
Who's number
let me have a
19?
look.
Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Yeah,
I don't
Alvarez.
know why, but why is he so
You're
deep?
pathetic.
I don't know. Alvarez
You asked me who
number
number 19 was in 98, 99. I would have told you. Dwight York.
God, Grealish is so involved in that goal, isn't he? He's hit the post early. Oh, no, it's Alvarez.
It's Alvarez who's decided.
That's such a good finish, man. He just gently coerced it. Like, caressed the ball
If
kindly.
Arsenal lose this, that is a massive moment, isn't it? Because it,
Not if they lose it like this. Not if they lose it
No,
like
it could go 2-3 now.
But but not if they lose it like this. They've been in this game.
No, but they've been
What are we
battered second
searching
half.
for now?
Nothing. You're just on your phone for no reason.
No.
yeah, you've been on your phone a lot this stream.
So
Very
have you,
unprofessional.
though, so have you.
No, I haven't.
You've been
I'm
terrible
gonna promote the stream.
No, you've been doing all sorts on there. You've been on the grinder. Tinder.
Tinder, yeah. Trossard's off. He's had an average game. Martinelli on. It obviously might not finish 1-0, but I think we've been worthy of 1-0 second half.
No, you've been the better team this
Yeah,
half,
yeah.
undoubtedly.
Managed it really well.
You've been camped in their half
Yeah.
for 10, 15 minutes.
And if we do beat Arsenal, it's a couple of good results against Chelsea. I know Chelsea aren't anywhere near good enough, but we put 5
No, but
past you
beating
lot, didn't
Chelsea is still
concede.
significant. Like,
Beat Spurs, came back against Spurs.
That's less
Something's
significant.
building, but top 6 opposition.
Yeah.
United, we got cheated. So it's not bad.
no, it's good.
You know, against United, look, whilst I agree, there was, I think that decision swung the game massively in our favour. You at 1-0, you were in control of the game, and you have only yourselves to blame for not getting that second goal.
Yeah,
It's like us against Palace. Like
yeah.
we could argue Scott McTominay, we should have got a penalty.
Oh no!
We could have argued Scott McTominay should have got a penalty. But ultimately, we shouldn't be 1-0 up against Palace with a minute to go. We should have buried the game.
2-3 now.
No, but the goal that they scored was a good goal, whereas the goal that you scored against them was a cheat.
Yeah,
Not you didn't cheat, but it was a terrible decision from the
referees cheated.
Which one?
the Rashford when Rashford's run alongside the ball and let Fernandes score.
I'm on about against. No, I agreed that.
Yeah.
But what?
But he's saying that Elise was a
At least
valid
like
goal.
when
but they were controlling the game, is what my point was, and
Yeah.
they should have. They
Yeah.
should have because
But they
we were
shouldn't.
poor.
But
Yeah.
they didn't have to go 2-0 up because the referee might do something dumb.
we were
they were
brilliant.
happy. They were settled, and then the referee.
But you're
did
away
something
from
dumb.
home against United in control of the game. Put them to bed. Is my point because we were playing poorly in that game,
Palace
and that
is easier.
decision swung it in our favour.
Yeah.
Good keeping from Ortega. Caught the ball clean there. You
Is he
need that
related to
sometimes.
Ariel Ortega?
Looks like
I don't think
Arteta.
so.
He's a short keeper, isn't he?
Yeah,
Keepers
he's
are shorter nowadays, isn't it?
No, they're not good if they're short generally. Kepa Arrizabalaga doesn't have enough presence.
Yeah, how's he still playing for
He
you lot?
looks long though.
No.
Why isn't Bettinelli getting a shot? He used to be good back in the day, Fulham and all that. He was called up to England.
I think he will be. He's just young, isn't it?
Is he that young? I think he's like 25. I think he's not
No,
that-
the other thing
Kepa's
is,
the
it's
same age,
very
right?
difficult for him because there's over £100 million worth of talent.
You have to play it, sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Right then, listen, I got a PSA, a public service announcement, or no,
Brought to you in
a
part by Slim Shady.
PSR, public service request. Yeah, we are on 54.1k
How do you know?
subscribers. 'Cause there's a reason I'm on my phone. I'm not texting people. Yeah, so we need 900 subscribers to hit 55k. There's 4.6k people watching.
But they're
I
probably
know
already subscribed.
at least a k of them ain't.
How do you know?
Think about your percentages at home. Not subscribed is always about 60%.
I only ever watch channels I've already subscribed to.
Not everybody's like you. So become like Rory and subscribe, and so you can watch us. And also, if you're already subscribed, hit the like button so we can get 2,000 likes.
Unbelievable.
I'm a massive beg, you see.
By the way, this could be the first win on the club.
Megs.
Could be Man City win.
Yeah, but
So make sure you subscribe to see more Man
is
City
this the
wins.
first Man City game? Or that's not a league game, so it doesn't
Yeah,
count
we
as
would have
much.
done more Man City games. I was ready to do every Man City game since
Why?
the inception of the club, but you lads weren't around, obviously. So,
I mean,
yeah.
you're
Even Man
making,
City women's. I
you're
was
making yourself
prepared to
come
do
off
that.
worse here.
Why?
Just
Well,
telling everyone you're
Constant-
always
constant
available.
availability.
I'm always available to watch football.
Yeah,
I love football.
You're always
I
available.
love football more than you lads combined.
You love you.
I love football more
You're
than you
always
lads combined.
available.
No, I do.
You
it's
have
fine.
no commitment.
I love football.
It's why he wants a fob.
Yeah.
He just wants
move
to
in.
walk around.
I want a fob now.
Yeah, you're obsessed.
I can't get.
I
keep
really
getting locked
hope that they
outdoors.
just don't give you one now. Like, I don't care whether you get one or not, but
Why
now
don't
I
you
don't
want
want you
one?
to.
We need.
Why would
No,
I
you know
want
why
one?
we
I
need
don't
a fob?
Huh?
Because when them lot are filming, we need to go and just terrorize them.
Oh yeah. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some D-Generation X stuff. Remember when DX went to WCW live?
I don't get that
Turned
reference.
Oh,
It's
Wrestling. Do
D-Generation
you
X.
back that?
No, of course I don't.
Oh, I thought you were going to back it.
No,
up.
no.
not even-
Slag
was
it
there
off.
I know who it is though.
Was
Yeah.
there ever an era
Hunter
where
Hurst Helmsley.
was there ever an era where you
Liked it when I was a child.
okay.
Yeah.
When
I was a child.
I was a child.
When I was a child,
then.
Adam, by the way. When I was a child.
But no,
There
we
must
should do
be
it to
something you
pitch side.
enjoy that. There must be something that you enjoy that would be considered juvenile to enjoy in your adult age.
Impractical Jokers.
What's that?
It's my guilty pleasure.
Oh, mate.
It's my guilty.
We'd be good
it's
on
my
that.
guilty
It's dead
pleasure.
now. Joel's gone.
I haven't seen it for years, but in my adult life,
Yeah.
I found that show very funny.
Joe left.
Did he? Joe Gatto,
mm,
big fan of his from Staten Island.
yeah, it's like a
Oh, that yeah.
a family-friendly
yeah, I've
version
seen
of
that, yeah.
Jackass. Almost.
Yeah.
But that made me laugh.
Mm.
That used to make me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And that's very juvenile.
Very
and-
childish
yeah.
of you, Ross.
Yeah, no, it is. But that's my guilty pleasure.
An 18+ game where you get to like do. Cool
I wanted
stuff
to
in
do a
GTA.
show like that at football grounds.
What, prankers?
Like,
Oh, it won't end
Thing
well.
is, at a football thing, you'll
end
get
well.
pinged, innit?
no, but you don't go to serious football grounds
You get you get pinged.
You go to like
I know.
You got to target people.
where
properly.
boobies and that are,
What's that?
or them fellas with shark heads on and that. That's where you gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah. Look for a Wally in a jester hat.
Go
to
there
a swim.
3 hours before kickoff, you'll be all right. There used to be a fella that turned up to Old Trafford painted red. like the whole.
Mate, but that's mad. That guy's insane though. Don't mess with him.
You ever
He's
met
definitely
Speedo Mick
No,
at Everton?
he'll kill you.
Have you ever met Speedo Mick?
No, but he's no. He's not.
No,
a
I'm not saying
weirdo.
he's like that, but he's
No, he
like
raises money.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of money.
I've met him. He's
charity.
a lovely guy. But I'm just saying, in terms of appearance at a stadium, see someone in their speedos at every game, even in the winter. He walked from Liverpool to Wembley once.
I love the image of
What's wrong with that?
him at Goodison Park, in his
Unbelievable.
speedos booing.
Yeah, I was there for one of those games. I think it was Arsenal beat them once.
It was so good.
Great guy. We should get him on the stream. There's no Everton fans with good
He's looking at his speedos
Just
like
standing
half his,
in the producer
half
camera
his-
there by
half his
Elliot.
pants up his crack, pulling them out. Boo. Frank out. Wanker.
Hey, I did a whole thing with him. I did a video with him once. Oh my god, they are tight speedos, man. Jeez, I don't know. They're child size.
By very
Could
different.
you see the veins in his balls?
Mate, you should see my Bahama swimming trunks.
Oh, man, God.
Mental.
There's real flamingos there.
I know. I can't wait.
You
I'm
can
gonna
jump
capture
on
one.
ride it.
You can't ride a flamingo.
The flamingos
They're
bite.
endangered species,
No,
lads.
they're not.
Check out these lads' socials. They're doing a very nice trip soon, potentially.
No,
But you
mine's-
cannot
it's
ride
happening.
in your
Mine
Instagram
is
stories.
booked.
Do not ride a flamingo, please. They're endangered species.
They're not endangered
Yes,
species.
they are.
They're
How can they be
definitely
endangered
David Attenborough said
if they're
they
at a
are. David
casino?
Atten-
not. Yeah, they're at a casino. Also, they're in the Virgin Roof Gardens on High Street, Ken.
They're not real.
Of course they're real. When you're having dinner, the flamingos mooching about.
Where?
Virgin Roof Gardens, High Street, Ken. I thought you lived in London now. Get out. And
What,
about.
I've been to... No, there's no flamingos in a bar in London.
Of course there are.
They're not real.
The Virgin Roof Gardens.
What, they stay there all year?
Yeah,
They just stay on the
flamingos
gardens?
rocking about the garden.
Why don't they just fly off?
Mate, I don't know the mechanics of a flamingo. Why don't they fly off from the casino?
Because they're trapped inside, isn't it?
No, it's an outdoor casino.
Is it outdoor casino?
Yeah.
It's a
It's not an outdoor
resort.
casino. It's a
What
resort.
it's called.
It's a resort.
I don't know how
Yeah.
we're on
But
it.
mate, my swimming trunks are mad.
Yeah,
Like
I can't- yeah.
You won't believe.
I was about to say I can't wait to see him, and then I thought, yeah, that I can. Yeah, I can't wait. Actually, still 1-0, 17 minutes to go. Are you edgy, Boovy? Because obviously, me and Rory aren't emotionally attached.
I
to this
think
game.
in the first half, I was edgy at how many chances Arsenal had. I thought if we leave this game we lose 1-0 to Arsenal, it's a really bad state of
City
affairs.
couldn't lose this game, whereas Manchester City could not lose this game. It would be really bad for their aspirations for them to lose it at home. Whereas Arsenal to lose, it's not good, it's not ideal, but I don't think it matters as much. So for that reason alone, presumably you were a bit more concerned.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if we do win this 1-0, it's likely to happen at this point. There's a good chance.
You win the cup now.
We've managed the game. And look, we keep talking about the Premier. It's probably my fault, but I keep saying,
Odegaard's coming on.
This game's related to the Premier League title running. Ultimately, this is a cup competition. We're knocking one of the best sides in the cup out. It's a great
And
opportunity
you've
for us
already
to win a
knocked
cup.
another side. You've already knocked us
Yeah,
out.
Chelsea, Arsenal go on to win the FA Cup in this manner would be really, really
Are
good.
you still in the cup?
Yeah, we got Reading tomorrow.
Paul Ince is Reading.
Paul Ince.
His son's not playing there, is he? Tommy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Such a good player,
he's at
Paul
Reading.
Ince.
Andy Carroll?
Paul Ince is another player that people,
It's weird.
people
Andy
don't
Carroll.
acknowledge being so.
Jaap Stam managed Reading as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Unbelievable.
Ruud van Nistelrooy is doing really well at the moment.
PSV.
yeah,
PSV as well.
Unbelievable. Should we chat with one more topic? Very interesting one for you. Who would you take in their prime? Robin van Persie, Didier Drogba, or Fernando Torres? Now, the way I like to frame these debates is a World Cup final for 90 minutes. They start for Team X in a World Cup final, Champions League final.
If that's the criteria, then there is
Yeah.
only one winner here.
Do you
If it's
think?
a final,
If that's
Drogba.
the criteria, then
Yeah.
the answer is
Because
Drogba.
it has to be that. Otherwise, it gets into
No,
season
because I think
territory.
you
What
could
club
go.
do
I
they
think
play
you could
for?
go
What
like
league?
over the course of the
striker
season or whatever.
in their pomp,
Yeah,
at their peak, out of those.
it's hard, isn't it?
I'm very tempted to say Torres.
It is Torres.
I think it's Torres.
Torres at Liverpool it was, but if you're doing your criteria,
A
who
World Cup
plays
final,
in a
Cup
final?
Van Persie
The
in
answer
2013 is
in a
nuts.
final to play in a
It is
final,
big.
the answer is Drogba.
It has to be.
Yeah.
How
But-
many goals did he score in cup finals? Do you know?
9 in
off the top of
9,
your head?
wasn't it?
9 in 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a lot.
But
Scored one against us in the first final at
Don't
Wembley.
Yeah.
forget Thierry Henry
Lifted
scored
it over
0 cup finals.
Mm.
In 0 cup finals. Obviously, I can't belittle what a career he had, but it's hard to actually score in cup finals.
You see, I think sometimes you can go too far with that because he played in finals where his team still won,
Mm.
and I think that's the important thing. Like with Wayne Rooney, for example,
Mm.
when we won the final in 2008 against Chelsea, he was vitally important. He didn't score.
Yeah.
We lost
Yeah.
in 11, I think.
I think
it was,
the
and he
Henry
scored,
debate
you know what I mean?
comes
So
back-
it's like
yeah.
you can score and it doesn't matter.
But the Henry debate
Sometimes.
comes back around a little bit because of how good he was for Arsenal, and then he goes into that Champions League final where he was ineffectual against
For me,
Barcelona.
yeah, and this is something, I don't know if it's nostalgia or whatever, but you know the way I look at footballers now, and like for Haaland example, he could score 60 goals this season, and I would never hold him in the same regard as Henry. You know, like
Yeah,
there's some
I think
players
you're
that
right.
are just.
I think
You see
you're right.
Wayne Rooney, you see Van Nistelrooy, you see some of these players. Like you could score 100 goals this season.
Yeah.
I don't care, bro. It's
I
cool.
think the systems of
I just think
football are
football's
getting more
changed too
advanced.
much.
I think I think the system of football of understanding how to get the ball into the back of net is a lot more mechanical. So I think Henry had to do things individualistically as an artist, to do things creatively, to create goals out of nothing. So 100% I agree with you.
But
I
if
think
you-
I think
but
we're
if
in the
you're
lowest
doing a
point of football for
final-
years. I think the standard of football in terms of individual footballers, it's a bit like you know Kevin Keegan won a Ballon d'Or,
yeah.
but he's never considered the best of all time. There
It
are
was at
peaks-
Hamburg when he won
there,
that, right?
yeah, there are peaks and troughs in football where, you know, Maradona, and then it goes down a little bit in terms of, I think we're in a real low point in terms of the quality of football. I thought the World Cup was actually really average in terms of the quality. That's my opinion.
I think your opinion for that comes from nowadays coaching is much more important. So therefore individuals are less
Brighton,
important.
But we've just seen the
Brentford.
best player to have ever existed win a World Cup.
No, but he was still an important part of a team as well.
Yeah,
There was
of course.
that Barcelona team was also built around getting the best out of Messi, and he obviously was still a massive part of that and became a part of the team. But there were times where he didn't have to move. Do you know what I mean?
trying to say? Like,
where they were built around him. Same with Real Madrid.
No, the
Is
days
there
of
any-
Maverick
For
footballers,
Ronaldo.
Maverick
Yeah,
footballers
yeah.
are now frowned upon. So, for example, in
'cause
the
it's about
previous
the
era,
team.
Jack Grealish would have been far more mercurial and far more encouraged to be as free flowing as he'd want to be. Whereas I think now, particularly at City, who are the best team in the world, whether they win the league or not, they are the best collection of players. It's so regimented. It's so specific. Your role.
Again, it's down to coaching, and that's what I think. I think
Yeah.
because managers have almost become more important, the most important member of the team, the individuals aren't as important.
But do you think
you'll
that
find
changes? Is there a
individuals
cycle?
individuals succeed and
Yeah.
shine where the team isn't
Yeah.
as good,
And do you think,
or
do you
isn't-
think
or
that'll
the
be
manager
found
isn't
out?
as good?
Maybe that gets found out in 10 years where we get a Ronaldinho 2.0. We get a whole plethora of players where
No,
the
because you're
Manchester City
always
is
going
this
to have
world that-
anomalies. You're always going to have
Yeah.
Erling Haaland who wins a game for you.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
where the coaching doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're always going to have a Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi who can win the game.
I don't know
at the drop
why
of a
you'd
hat.
ever want
Yeah.
to discourage that as well. Like, I don't know why it would ever be in your interest
Yeah,
as
you
a football
shouldn't.
manager to discourage that mercurial, unpredictable
I think in
talent.
England that gets
Guardiola
coached
did it
out, yeah.
famously. He did it with Henry. He did it with David Villa. He did it with Zlatan because it does make you a worse side. And we're
And in
having these
England, we
debates
get
with
told
Haaland.
keep it simple, and
Yeah.
it's like sometimes that takes away you getting to be able to play on the ball, hold the ball, do things, and then that takes away from you as an individual.
I think it's
it detracts from
ridiculous
the
though,
sport.
and I think it makes the sport less rich, not financially, culturally rich. Like nullifying or clipping the wings of a player like Jack Grealish is a good example. Like Jack Grealish could be so much better than he is, I believe.
Yeah.
You know the way that Matt Letizia would play. Like Matt Letizia wasn't really involved, and then he picked the ball out, he scored the most sensational goal that you'll ever see. I think Jack Grealish has that ability, but he'll never do that because he's supposed to lay it into De Bruyne's feet.
He's meant to give 3 goals away instead of the one
Well, it was
special
like
one
what
that you're
Pep
talking
said the
about.
other day, wasn't it? When he came out and said, "Why you always keep talking about Grealish? He's doing what I want him to."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
And
he
it's
loves
like-
that. He loves that.
You all right? You're not getting the 10 goals, 10 assists that he was getting at Villa or whatever, but he's doing something for the manager.
But he's not doing what he does. What he would do most naturally, he's not being encouraged to do.
It's like with forwards.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I think I try and have this conversation with United fans about Martial sometimes. And like he gets criticised when he didn't score against City. But then if you look at the performance of United in the first half and second half, were completely different. Firmino at Liverpool scored less goals than a traditional number 9, but was lauded massively because it was all about the team. It's not about individuals anymore. It's about...
United fans go on about Martial too.
No, but no, I was
I know-
exaggerating
no,
the
no,
point to
no,
make
I
a
know
point.
what you mean, yeah.
I was trying to just make a point.
I
on
think
that.
it's almost like the tennis shout with Djokovic and Federer. Djokovic has got a better record than Federer now in terms of Grand Slams. And this is my perception of what tennis is about. Federer is a tennis player. Djokovic is a robotic winner. I think there's a big difference. I think Federer, for me, will always be the greatest tennis player of all time. I haven't got the most extensive knowledge, but in terms of what he brought to the sport when I watch it, but Djokovic got a better record. So, do you know what I'm trying to say? I feel like
I
some
will
footballers are footballers.
always find the beauty in the Maverick. I will always identify more with.
I'd
that kind of player.
I'd prefer a Rooney to a Kane.
Yeah.
Always.
Gascoigne.
And I prefer, and I also like the stories that go with football. Like one of my favourite stories about a player that nobody would ever heard of, a guy called Robin Friday, who was like the best, but circumstance and drinking and girls and whatever. But he was the kind of player that would pick the ball up on the halfway line, beat 3, and then score. But then go on a bender for 2 days. Like I like that, and I know that isn't sort of in keeping with the game. I know that isn't what you're supposed to be.
You know how people kind of, when we talk about footballers, and it's hard to compare generations because the generations are so different. But you know when people go, he would never have survived back then. So like, can you imagine like George Best now or Maradona now with the pitches and the training and the coaching and the food, the food.
They have
and
their head right, even their head right, the mental health and all that.
But then it's like, that comes down to the individual, doesn't it? And they could have still been the same people with the same flaws and the same...
No, because I think culturally it's also different now. So you know, Gazza's a good example here. Gazza was, and footballers at the time, they were encouraged to drink. They weren't encouraged. Now smoking or drinking as a footballer would be incredibly frowned upon. Whereas very recently, like I remember, I think it's in Tony Adams' book, which I read. I think it's called Addicted.
Funny enough.
he talks about the cultural difference between the French players that arrived at Arsenal. You remember when it was like Gilles Grimandi and all those boys that arrived? When they arrived, they were baffled by the English players because they were like, it's disgraceful, these English boys. They're all in the pub. You know, the Tuesday Club, the Arsenal Tuesday Club. They're all in the pub. And the Arsenal English boys, they were looking at these French players and they're like, these guys are unbelievable. They're all smoking.
Must be like, have you seen Talladega Nights?
No.
Ricky Bobby, when Sacha Baron Cohen's in it, I forgot his character name, and he turned up. It's a French racer in America. Anyway, if you haven't watched it, it don't make sense. But yeah, I hear you.
But I think that like George Best then was encouraged. It was the culture to go out boozing. You'd win a game, you go coach, you go training.
When you take that natural ability of a Best, a Maradona, and then you consider they were getting knee-high challenges. I know these are all cliches and stuff. The pitches were cut up. Yeah. You know, but then nowadays they're playing 60, 70 games.
Yeah,
George Best,
so you know
George
what I mean? You
Best
can't
would be
even
the
afford
best
to go to the
footballer
pub.
in the world by a country mile right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not Messi, but him and Messi. George Best would be the best footballer in the world by a country mile.
I agree.
I believe that in my heart. Maybe it's romantic.
And all of those players would though.
So
I think all of those, all of
Maradona is at his best is better than Messi at his best.
No, because Messi's so good, it's era defining. He would have been the same player in the 60s, 70s, 80s. It doesn't matter. He's total football for me. He's done everything. He can score a goal. He's got the best goal records in the history of football. So what you're saying is the passer, best
and the Messis and all that.
Yeah, and I think George Best fits into any. He's that good in my opinion. Zidane's the same, and Pele. Yeah, for me, it's those 5 or 6. Cruyff is a good example. I think Cruyff.
You know
would have
who's
been unbelievable.
extremely lucky this time around, this era? The average players.
Yeah.
Because they're fit. They get up and down the pitch.
Now, he's been at Manchester United for so long. He must have seen players getting wages.
Yeah. No, but I think
Bobby Moore had no money.
I think that about
Bobby Moore.
You know the era of players that just missed the money.
Premier League money.
Yeah.
Pele had to go to New York because he had no money. He was so broke he had to move his whole family to New York Cosmos.
But you know the Premier League players that would they were 5 years too late. Like you know when Roy Keane got the 50. Roy Keane got the 50 and everything changed. Imagine retiring the year that Roy Keane got the 50. Like you just go, hang on.
It's God. Like, for example, with United, Robbo and McClare stuck around, got a few Premier League titles and all that. Whereas Paul McGrath moved on. Some of those players didn't get to get those Premier League contracts. I think I read something similar about the clubs. I can't remember who it was that went down, but when they went down was when the parachute payment changed. So if they would have went down a year later, they would have been like much richer, and they probably would have come back into the Premier League and stuff.
Crazy.
It might have been about Charlton, actually.
Yeah, Charlton.
Because Charlton were a Premier League team.
Ipswich, isn't it? They went
in a tough situation.
Ipswich were in Europe, which was crazy.
Marcus Stewart.
Herman Haridason, Darren
David
Bent,
Darren Bent,
Marcus Bent as well.
Yeah.
Marcus Bent,
Darren Ambrose.
Were they ever related?
No, I don't think so.
Just same surname.
But
Marcus Bent played in I watched a documentary.
He went to Everton, didn't he?
I watched a documentary on corruption and betting in sport, in football. And he was in it playing in like Thailand or somewhere like Malaysia. I can't remember what country it was in, but involved in...
Really?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't involved, but he was playing for the team.
Yeah.
We are approaching 86 minutes in this game. It's been if it finishes 1-0, I think it's been a very professional performance from City. We rode out the first half from Arsenal. You know, I'm hoping we relax on it now and just for the final 5 minutes.
Have you missed the
see it
chance
out.
to make a statement?
This is if you beat the league leaders in the FA Cup in the fourth fifth round of the FA Cup, I can't remember. Fourth round of the FA Cup. Sorry, it's the business end of the season. A 1-0 win against Arsenal, who are top of the league. Wow.
But is
That's
it
massive?
It doesn't put any fear into them if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you can't beat everyone 4-5-0. I think this is a very... it will teach the City lads how to grind out a result because a lot of players in this side will start against us in the Premier League.
Nothing
the
wrong with a
centre half-
1-0 win. You've knocked Arsenal out of the cup. Is the
Well,
is
we've
the
still
end
got
of the
5 minutes and added time yet.
yeah. You've knocked. If it ends like this, the only thing that really matters is Arsenal are out of the cup
Oh,
and Man City on.
And do you know what? For
Too
a lot,
many mullets
for a lot
about.
of City fans, we talk, you know, City fans are always now involved in these discussions. Oh, would you take a Premier League or a Champions League or... Without sounding too boring or anything, I'd take an FA Cup. Do you know what I mean?
You can't.
I know the Champions League debate. The Champions League debate
but
is
you
by the
can't-
by.
you can't-
The Premier
as
League, I
Man
want to win it. I
City-
think we can win the Premier League.
As a Man
The
City
FA
fan, you
Cup-
can't say I'd take a cup. Like
I'll take the
like
FA
that's a
Cup.
Newcastle fan statement or a Tottenham fan statement.
Yeah, but
you
it's
can't
for
have the
City
same
fans.
aspiration as Tottenham.
I think this side's capable of winning. This current Man City side are capable of winning the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League this season.
But you'd happily take the FA Cup and leave it there.
In some world, yeah. In some world, yeah.
I think he's
Yeah.
coming from the perspective of if he only won the FA Cup this year, he wouldn't be ungrateful.
No, I think any year where you
I
win
think City
silver,
fans are getting a little bit, not all City fans,
You've
but
got the
a
best
few,
team in the
especially younger
country,
City
though.
fans that are not used to.
you got the best team in the country, and you got the
Oh!
best team in the country.
We should be winning more, of course. We
Yeah.
should be winning.
I think
the money and
mate,
all that. Of
I
course.
don't think this is extreme from me, but I think if you end the season with an FA Cup, I think it's a really bad year for City.
I think any season where
Yeah,
they
you're
end
right.
up
You're
with
right.
just
Yeah.
that
But City
would be a
fan,
bad
you can
season.
still as a City fan. You know, City fans aren't tied to the money we spend. It's not our money, and you know we see the squad do certain things. We'd be disappointed not to win the Premier League for sure. But the FA Cup would be a lovely thing to do.
Yeah, the
Lovely
FA
thing
Cup's
to do.
wonderful, but
Especially imagine it was against United. You know, that if they beat Reading, you know, a United final would be amazing. It's special
all Manchester final would be good. Yeah,
at Wembley.
I'll be here on my own.
Well, yeah. No, I'd come in for that. I'm dedicated, but you'd slag me off for coming in, you lads. So it's fine. No, it's fine.
You'd be available.
I've been.
available.
I've already
be
written the date in. What is it?
You'd be-
He'd be
25th of May?
available. Me and Rory would
Final
go to the
weekend of
game.
May.
Yeah, you'd be available. Yeah.
Oh, come on, lads. We've got to do it together.
You know
FA
what
Cup
I've
final.
always dreamt of? Imagine like there's a big game at Wembley and someone give us a box and we did this from in a box at Wembley. That'd be nuts.
That could happen, couldn't it?
You know
Why
where
not?
like
What? So
that-
you're watching the game,
Yeah.
but not on the telly?
Just like that.
yeah,
behind like that.
you watching?
No,
the
no.
game.
You'd be watching the game there.
You'd
wouldn't
have
you?
to face the camera.
Yeah, the
Have your
camera's
back to the
there, and
camera.
the pitch is going on behind the.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine how
Use your loaf of bread.
dreamy that would be.
What's he talking about?
You could film the game. No, you can't do that.
No, you can't film the game. That's the whole point. So the game's going on
Oh,
behind.
Good shout. It's a good shout, Ross.
Forget it. How about we forget my idea?
No, it's a great idea. I'm backing you.
Well, now you've processed what it means.
Yeah, it took me a while. I'm a slow learner. 90 minutes. I just want to hold the ball in the corner now.
Yeah, I mean your shape is good. Look, it's going to take something very special from Arsenal now.
But do you know what I mean with Guardiola? You look down at the results and suddenly it's 1-0, 5-0, 1-0, 4-0 against Chelsea, and then you've beaten Spurs, beaten
People are
Wolves.
still talking about you being out of form, but you've won the last 5 games.
And we have looked a little bit off. We've not looked very free flowing.
Maybe when you're playing Arsenal in this sort of circumstance, it doesn't matter. It's just about winning the game.
Yeah.
Just win the game against Arsenal, and that is the statement.
But to do it with a clean sheet as well, play some nice football.
I
Confidence
don't
is
think
nice.
anything like that is. I really don't. I just think knock them out of the cup.
Yeah.
However
you're
it
right,
happens, knock them out of the cup.
Yeah.
Win the game 3-2, win the game 1-0, win the game 5-0, just knock them out of the cup.
Yeah,
And you've
yeah.
done that.
Yeah.
Do you think if Arsenal failed to win the league this year, which again we all kind of think they'll win it now, it would be a failure of a season if they only got Champions League football?
If you're what's the maximum points they've been? 8 points is the biggest number, isn't it? With all the games played, it's 8 points clear.
Currently, yeah.
If you're 8 points clear, and you're the biggest club in London, apparently for me it's Chelsea, but if you're the biggest club in London, you spent 300 million quid more than any other side in the last 2 transfer windows, and you don't win the Premier League from that position, that's embarrassing for me.
I've got to disagree.
8
I
points.
genuinely do.
It's not 3
The
points.
reason I disagree
That's
is
3
for the
games.
same reasons I would disagree with us criticising Eddie Howe if Newcastle fell out the top 4.
Their squad's under. Their squad is under-equipped and they're punching miles above their weight to be a top 4
But
side.
aren't Arsenal punching above their weight?
No, they spent 300 million quid in the last 2 summers. They've
but-
signed one of the most prodigious young England keeping
But-
talents. 50 million quid on Ben White. Partey's Champions League holding midfielder. Jesus from Man City, 4-time Premier League
But-
champion. I'm just saying, it's not
The
not
teams
that, they're
around
not-
them,
They're not Leicester City.
Manchester United spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
Spurs
Yeah.
had the best transfer window
Chelsea.
of all time. Chelsea spending money like it's gone out of fashion.
Yeah.
So no one has a divine right.
300 million quid into the squad in 2 years.
No, but what I'm saying is there's still competition there.
Yeah.
And this was a team that finished 8th, 5th.
Yeah.
So if they finish 5th this season, I believe that would be a failure if they finish 5th if they didn't get Champions League.
Who, Arsenal?
Sorry, if they get Champions League only this season,
Yeah.
that's not a failure. That's not a failure at all.
No, this is no, I'm not saying that. I think if Arsenal came
No trophies
at
and
the
just,
start, at the start
just
of the
second
season,
or
at the
third.
start of the season, I thought 4th was a good achievement for them to get back in the Champions
True.
League. I think they failed not doing it last season. They should have done it. They had a good opportunity to. They had games that I think they lost to Southampton, Brighton. I think it was that was failure coming 5th that season, and it's not level with Man City, 0 points in it. They're 8 points. That's 2. They got it in their hands.
So if they
don't
only get
lose to
Champions
City,
League football, it's a failure.
from now it is. At the start of the season, it's a good achievement. Of course
still
it is.
disagree
It's a
with
young squad.
I still disagree.
The
Because of the fact they've still got to play City twice.
But the United side that Alan Hansen famously said, "Oh, you can't win anything with kids." There are moments in your life where you have to transcend where you are. You have to become champions. You have to become more than you are, and do you know what I mean? And these Arsenal players, they got Zinchenko that knows what it means to win. Gabriel Jesus, of course. There becomes a moment where Saka has to score a world-class goal to beat Man City 1-0 at the Etihad. There has to be moments in these guys' career where they transcend. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And become champions. And they could do it. I'm not saying I'm not saying Arsenal going. They could win the Premier League.
I don't think if Arsenal don't win the league, I don't think it's a failure. I think this season for them is all about Champions League football.
So if I put United in this position, you're 8 points clear now.
But Manchester United,
I know you've got a bit more money in the squad. You've got a £1 billion squad.
and okay, let's say Ten Hag was 8 points clear now,
Yeah.
and we didn't win the league.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. I'd be
Yeah,
gutted.
Fine.
I'd be absolutely gutted, and I'm sure their fans would be gutted. But if their fans start turning around and going, Arteta's failed,
But it's different Ten Hag to Arteta because Arteta's been there 3 years.
so let's say
Yeah, exactly.
if Arsenal only get Champions League football this
Yeah.
season, is
I
it
think
a
it's-
failure?
Yeah,
How?
because expectations change at the season.
They're 8 points clear.
But bro,
They're eight
They've got
points
to play-
clear, and the geezers
okay.
spent a load of money.
well,
And
they've
he's
got
been
to
there for
play
ages.
City twice, who arguably should be favourites against them in both games.
But they're not.
Arguably.
Not the Emirates.
Arguably.
No, but
City-
not
look at-
arguably.
look at-
They're not. They
they're
won't
top-
be.
they're
Look
top
at
of
the
the table.
City's resources to Arsenal's, is my point here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right about that.
Like,
But,
so
but
really,
Leicester City beat us. Leicester City were top of the table, and then they went to the Etihad and beat
I think
us
that's
3-1.
unfair.
But also,
As much as I'd be ripping their fans if they don't win the league.
surely
of course,
expectations
of course.
change. If you're 8 points clear over halfway through the season, you've accrued 50 points at
But they've
after
not
19
played City
games.
once. If they played City once and they were 8 points clear,
eight-
then okay.
But
Okay,
they can lose to City twice and still win the league.
2
Just
points
match
clear,
City points.
and they have to beat
Exactly.
Fulham,
But
Brentford, all these lot.
let's say they lost against City twice, and that gap was 2 points. City are favourites.
No, I understand them. I understand how they potentially don't win it, but I'm saying if they don't win it, it's expectations change, and it would be very uninspiring for them to not win the league from this point.
But them not winning the league is a case of, let's say City go on a mad one and win almost every game. Arsenal literally have to lose those 2 games against City and draw one
Adam,
to drop that amount of
Adam,
points. That's
there's a-
not a
No,
big
I understand
stretch.
how it happens. I'm saying that it would be bad form for them to not win the league from this point.
the reality is
this-
they could. They're 8 points clear now in the Premier League title race. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
8
yeah.
points clear. They could have the best transfer window in their history this summer. Chelsea come back again next summer. Liverpool, Spurs.
They've never had a better chance to win it. They've
They're
got
never
one
going to be
team, one
8
team to
points
beat.
clear of a City side that are actually struggling.
only
as
got
well.
one
We're-
challenger.
We're not at the same level. Everyone's forgetting about Man City. Next season we could be a 100-point season. Next season we could be. And
I
United are going to come stronger. You're progressing well.
You know when Chelsea finished 10th in the league, and then Antonio Conte came in, and we got ourselves clear of City. At the beginning of the season, I didn't think we'd
Game's
win the
over,
league.
by the
At
way.
the beginning of the season, obviously, I didn't think we'd win the league
huge
because
win.
we won. We finished 10th the previous season. But once we were clear of City and we were halfway through the season and we'd beaten them at the Etihad, I was like, right, we've got to win the league now. You don't have the same expectation. At the beginning of this season, I thought Chelsea should
No, I
be
know
challenging for the league.
expectations change.
Now I'm thinking top 4 would be a miraculous
I
achievement.
know expectations change, but also the reality hasn't changed. And this is ultimately still the same team that we expect. Some people all of us three here expected to finish
Not the
outside
same
the top
team.
4.
It's not the same team that I expected. This team are far superior to what I expected.
So when Leicester City were 3 or 4 points clear in the Premier League title race, they had a couple games to
Mate,
go.
I was the whole time expecting them to fall off.
No, but the Leicester City fans at the start of the season were hoping to just not get relegated.
Yeah.
By April the 25th or whatever it was when they won the Premier League.
But if they didn't
their
win the
fans were
league-
saying we can't lose 3 games in a row. It's not they were saying, oh well, we're happy to come
But
second.
then
No,
if they don't win the league, if they didn't win the league, you couldn't blame Ranieri for that.
But you adapt in sport. If you catch someone in a boxing fight and you catch someone with a good hook and then they're on the ropes, you don't sit there and say, well, I wasn't
That's
expected
true.
to beat Muhammad Ali. I wasn't expected to beat him.
That's true.
You
but
keep going for it. You smash him out. You smash him out the park.
That's a good
Arsenal should be winning the Premier League. They're 8 points clear and they've spent 300 million quid.
I think the belief in the fans is starting to.
I know what you're saying,
Like
but-
they started to sing that they're going to win the Premier League for the first time. Like they've been singing. You know, at the beginning of the season. I know at the beginning of the season though, that song that they sing was "We're going to make the Champions
Yeah.
League," and now they've changed it to "Win the Premier League," which is correct. Like the whole point of football
Do you
is.
remember when Liverpool fans started believing for the first time and then it blew up in their face?
Man, I remember when Tottenham paid to pay for the bus route, the celebratory bus route for the Champions League.
You can tell they're not experienced winning trophies
Like
before. innit?
they had it sorted. Like the roads were closed and all that.
Maybe that was council planning permission.
Yeah.
But, that's a tough one. Look, we have to conclude the stream, don't we?
We do.
We're moving on to bigger and better things.
90 minutes today, you won the game. You're through to the 5th round of the FA Cup.
Yeah, I can wrap it up. Man City, if you get a clean sheet in an FA Cup game and knock out Arsenal at home, that is a positive result. You've been watching the club. Make sure you check out everyone's channels. Rory Jennings, Adam McCone, of course, myself, Boovy. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.
Cheers, Beefy.